Hey, podcast listeners. Dana here. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Just between us. We like all of you much, much more than the folks that listen live. But no matter how, when, or where you check out the Hams podcast, we got to give thanks to our friends at Standard Heating for making it all possible. It's been a pretty tame winter so far, but we know well enough that we're not out of the woods yet. So hit up standardheating.com to get them out to your house to make sure your furnace is tuned up to do all of the furnace-y types of things it's supposed to do. I'm still learning the lingo. Make that appointment today. Become a Smart Club member like me. That's standardheating.com. Enjoy the show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
All right. Yes, it's about that time to put our differences aside and go ahead with the Thursday broadcast of the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Josh, we're just going to have to agree to disagree.
On what?
You know what we were just arguing about?
We weren't arguing about anything.
Who's the better kisser? Unbelievable.
Well, Dana, there's one way to find out.
I'll come in. I'll be the judge of this.
Yes, you will.
Unbelievable you'd even want to argue with me about that after all these years.
I'm so forgetful. I forgot about that. I was very passionate that I'm the better kisser.
The better kisser. What is this now? Thursday, our Thursday broadcast. Plus, we got company today. We're going to want to be in our best behavior by the time company arrives.
A couple of our favorites today.
We do. We like these people. 8 o'clock in the effing morning, Marcus Foligno of the Minnesota Man Bear Pigs is supposed to be calling us on the telephone so we can figure out just what the hell is going on with him lately. What he's got going on the ice, off the ice, what time his Super Bowl party begins Sunday. Because I believe after Saturday, these guys don't have to do Dick Tracy for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're done until the 22nd.
We got to ask him about that. What's he going to do? Well,
Let's go to Senior Frogs.
all that time off. Senior Frogs.
I remember seeing all those T-shirts back in the day. Where is Senior Frog?
I don't even know.
I think it's in Cancun.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I got a shot glass from there because my buddies went. They were like, here you go.
Senior Frogs and Wall Drugs. I don't think I've ever seen more advertisements for a couple of establishments than those two.
Oh, I love Wall Drug.
Seems like everybody does.
Or Sven and Ole's. I always see that bumper sticker around.
Sure. Senior Frogs. Yeah, that brings me back to high school when everybody went on spring break.
I was like Wapple, though. I was a kid that never win, but the friends would bring me back like a pity shot glass or a T-shirt or something.
At least they brought you guys something back. I've never gotten anything.
Yeah, me neither.
They just go and have fun, and then I see the pictures.
You have better
I
friends.
never went on spring break, and I never got any souvenirs. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, they were like, let's get the poor kids something.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. Now that I think of it, I can't say it was anything to do with Senior Frogs. Wow, I can't believe we've said that out loud 5 or 6 times.
You know who else can't? Senior Frogs.
But a friend of mine went to Mexico. Wasn't in high school. He probably was in his 20s. And he did bring me back a T-shirt. And the T-shirt said, 68. You do me and I owe you one, or something like that. Do you know that joke?
Yeah.
Let's do 68. You do me and I owe you one. I think that's the line. And also, I think there was another really, really cool slogan on the T-shirt. It said something like, let's play war. I'll lay back and you blow the hell out of me, or something like that.
Yep.
It's been a while.
Is there a Senorita Frogs? I'd be interested in that.
Oh,
That's the one I'd be more interested in checking out.
Why not stop by next time you're in Mexico? So Marcus Foligno, 8 o'clock in the morning. Around 8:30, our guest in studio will be Veterinarian Dr. Andrea Johnston.
Which of those two do you think would be a better kisser, to stay on the theme?
Better kisser?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a tough question.
Foligno, I'd have to get on my tippy toes.
Well, Marcus...
give me a stare.
Definitely Marcus.
is probably missing a lot of his teeth, and that would be a weird sensation.
Oh, I never considered that.
Right. Andrea's got all her teeth. So I guess the easy answer is Marcus, because it's something weird. It's something different. It's something most of us haven't experienced before. So let's call Marcus Foligno the better kisser, because it's just softer in there.
He'd probably pick you up or something during during the makeout sesh, too.
Why is he picking me up?
He just seems like the type that would just pick you up because he can.
Ashley,
Hair blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
if that ever happened, I would melt. I would simply melt.
Same.
Andrea will be here to help our listeners out with any questions they have about their beloved house pets. So it's going to be a full day. Here we are about a week into the month of February. Not the most popular time of year with folks. As silly as it sounds to hear that any grown person would actually have a favorite month, I was just reading that February ranks 11 out of 12 when it comes to our favorite month. Stupid but true. The one we just blew through, January, is the only month that we hate more than the one we're just beginning.
We had this conversation at the dinner table the other day.
Did you talk about your favorite month?
We did. And my wife
Family
and I,
bonding.
Love that.
we really did. And my wife and I, we disagree. We're on the complete.
Your wife, the adults had this argument.
Well, yeah, the kid was involved, but I tune him out. I
Yeah.
usually have to ask her what he said later on.
You and your wife argued about. So this is why I could never survive if I had children. Because as soon as I found myself at the dinner table and the conversation turns to what's your favorite month, I think I would just turn my dinner plate over and walk out of the room. But you and the wife got into it.
Well, before I give my answer, can you remind everybody the months of the year?
I would love. I always love having the opportunity to sing the months of the year. Is that what you're looking for,
Yeah,
Cubby?
if you don't mind.
Obviously,
There might be people listening that don't know.
my voice is in great shape, so why wouldn't you want to hear me sing?
Yeah, okay, good.
January, are you going to sing with me? February, March, April, May, June, July. Good God. August, September, October, November, December. Those are the months of the year. Rest in peace, Kevin Meaney.
Such a good bit.
Rest in peace, Kevin Meaney, local comic who dumped that bit out on The Tonight Show many years ago. It's one of the funniest and most original comedy bits I've ever seen on television.
It's so silly.
And unfortunately, as you maybe have heard us discuss before on this program, it's a bit that used to be on YouTube. It disappeared years ago, and Josh and I, like psychotic Bigfoot hunters, have been on the search for that audio for a long, long time, and we can't find it, and it breaks our friggin' hearts because I love that bit.
Me too. And, we used to have it, but that computer died, so we lost a lot of good stuff, including that.
It was a bit where the entire audience, including Johnny Carson himself, the show host, and the band and everybody were laughing hysterically, and they could not believe they were laughing at something so simplistic. A grown man singing the months of the year. He then moved on to sing about the planets, numbers. It was just
Cute.
such a... Anyway, you were saying about a family argument you had with the wife about the months of the year, your favorite months.
So we're complete opposites in a few ways, and one of them is I'm an avid indoorsman, and she loves being outdoors.
She
loves,
does, huh?
And she loves heat. I hate heat. Heat should be. I'm hoping that the current administration gets rid of heat. I don't like it, and my wife loves it. So July is her favorite month. She loves July.
She
Gross.
does. All right.
That's what I thought. I'm an October guy. I love fall. Big October fan. So we're a lot different in that regard.
The World Series.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in
Halloween.
Halloween, I love Halloween.
What else happens in October? It's Merzo's birthday.
Yep. My youngest birthday. So there's a couple, one of my best friend's birthdays.
I can't.
I tuned those two out, but the rest are pretty great.
That's great. I can't say that I've ever spent any time considering what my favorite month is, but according to what I was just reading, we hate February.
Yeah, it's weird. I've never hated a month before. It was tough for me to dislike a month.
You're too nice to dislike a month. You don't want to hurt the month's feelings.
Well, I guess I just don't care that every day's the same. Just the weather's different.
February sucks. And what was the phrase we heard yesterday? Not that it was new to anybody, but I just hadn't heard it in a long time. Sucks to suck?
Oh, sucks to suck.
Yeah, we had that going around yesterday. Sucks to suck. Here's a question from a listener eastbound at Sundown Jesus. How many months have you dated? June, May, April? You not following?
Yeah,
Are these
I
like
got
girls'
it.
names?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
May. Okay, it's different
0.
spelling. Yeah, different
June,
spelling.
May, April.
Gotcha.
None of them. I've never dated a June or a May or an April.
Every month has dates. That's how that works.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I have never, I don't think I've even met a April, May, or June.
Me either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I went to.
I know a
went to-
dog named June, but that's
I
about
went to
it.
school with a June and an April. I've never met a woman named May, but we appreciate the question anyway. Eastbound at Sundown Jesus. What else is going on around here? What other conversations do you have at the dinner table there, Josh, you'd like to tell us about?
There's not really a lot going on. Like I said, I tune them out. I'm eating so fast. All I want to do is go to bed immediately afterwards, so I tune that out.
You just sweep the food
Pretty much.
into your yap as quickly as possible so you can go to bed.
I know people say stuff, but I don't remember what it is.
People say things, sometimes aloud.
But I was called something this morning that I've never been called before.
Sucks to suck, I'll tell you that.
It does suck
When
to suck.
someone calls you a name,
Yeah.
what were you called?
So Ashley, was that you that said that?
Plebe.
Oh, plebe. No, I've been called that. One of my buddies calls me a plebe all the time.
Fat ass.
No, that's you. But you know what? Since you've done that, other people are now calling me fat ass.
Really?
Yeah.
I've noticed that in text messages.
Yeah, people are texting me that. I got a couple emails from listeners that start with, hey, fat ass.
Oh, wow.
Josh and I, we had this conversation a couple days ago, if you weren't listening. It makes no sense at all, but I like to call him Fatso and Fat Ass because he's the slightest, most neatly fit person that I know. So it's like calling a tall guy a shorty or a skinny guy. Well, that's the bit. Yeah.
This has been happening for decades. Do you remember, this is back in the old studio, I had like a week where I was a little self-conscious and I asked you, hey, do you really think I'm getting fat? Do you remember that conversation?
I don't remember that conversation. It doesn't surprise me.
I mean, it was kind of like, it was wearing on me a little bit.
Because of your bizarre lack of self-esteem.
Yeah.
My silly nicknames for you actually sort of played into your
Like
self-conscious.
every thought for about a week, and I thought, man, I got to ask him if
I
he
don't
feels that
remember
way.
that.
Jeez.
What did I say to you?
Well, I think
did
you
I say
laughed at
shut
me.
up for
Pretty
Christ's sake?
much, yeah.
So who the hell's been calling you names?
Well, I've got a friend of mine. He's great for many reasons. You know my buddy Joe.
Sure I do.
Weird Wiener Jesus. He's got he'll call me usually references to one-hit wonder metal bands. Like he'll say, hey, whoever, like who's the lead singer of Danger? I can't remember the guy's name.
You were the Danger fan.
You know what I mean? Like he'll throw some of these names out. He calls me that.
Now, go ahead.
So he calls
Ted Poley.
Yeah, Ted Poley.
Got it.
That's it.
Yeah.
He'll call me something like that, and sometimes I have to Google who he's talking about.
What's up, Ted Poley?
He made like a loudness reference yesterday.
Oh, sure,
So
yeah.
we'll make those.
Rock and roll crazy nights.
Yeah. But today he called me a boner barn.
Oh.
I've never heard that term. I love
Boner
it.
barn.
Boner barn.
Okay.
That's good.
I like that one.
This is But you said other people have been calling you fatty?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of fat stuff.
Some of your bros and whatnot?
Yeah, texters and some people I've known for a really long time.
Forgot I have a cough button right here. But I'm holding my cell phone in my hand because, as you can tell by listening to me, I've got some kind of an illness. Josh also hasn't been feeling that great this week. Here's a text message exchange between Josh and I from 2 days ago. Tuesday night, 6:31 p.m., I sent you a text message that said, how you feeling there, Tubby?
Yeah, that cracked me up. That actually made me feel better.
It's just stupid, but it's how bros bust each other's chops, obviously. Like I said, a couple days ago, Josh weighs, you look like a 10th grader.
Yeah,
that is not a thing that women
So
do.
that's why you don't call each other fat ass?
Nope. I guess the only derogatory word we call each other is like bitches.
Slut.
Oh yeah, bitch. Yeah, whore. Right? Like that kind of. I hear that. Hoe.
Yep.
I hear hoe a lot.
I know some gals that would always greet each other with, what's up, slut? You know,
I like that.
They're a longtime friends. You can dump that kind of thing on your friend.
You were mentioning, it's been kind of a sick ward in here, and
Yeah.
I've had something going on with my eye for the last couple of weeks.
no.
Yeah, you have.
I showed it to Ashley yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before?
2 days ago.
And she just goes like, gross.
What's been going on with your eye? With the eye?
It's all
It's always the eye.
Yeah, it's all irritated.
Ah, for Christ's
That's
sake!
why I showed.
You're a friggin' mess.
I know. I showed. It's my weight. It's my weight. It's getting to me. It's affecting my health.
Affecting your eyes.
Yeah, that's interesting and funny, but it's so very you that despite the fact that I was obviously just being a friendly nuisance to you for a week by calling you names, that you actually thought, deep down, have I put on a few pounds?
Well, sometimes there's some truth buried in
There's
those.
not when you get called fatty.
Hey,
no, there's no truth involved in there.
This is a funny text, and you and me, my friend Weird Wiener, and a couple other people might get this. Somebody's calling me Bitney Fox.
Oh, dude.
How has nobody ever called me that before?
That never happened before?
Never even thought of that. That's great.
It's out of respect, because those guys sucked.
They had a couple. Long Way to Love was pretty catchy.
Yeah, their first record, was big. Yeah. If you're totally in the dark, a reference to a late 80s hair band by the name of Britney Fox, who, yes, Long Way to Love and Girl School.
They wanted to be Cinderella. They had a couple of pretty catchy tunes.
Yes, they did, and I'll admit that I went to see them in concert when I was a junior in high school, and I thought it was pretty friggin' cool.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little embarrassed.
They were opening for Poison, but that's beside the point.
Poison puts on a good show.
Well, sure they did.
Yeah, they did. My wife's favorite month is July. Have we covered that?
We have.
Yep.
Brittany Fox will always remind me of the 4th of July because me and some buddies, we brought a boombox out to watch fireworks and blasted it. I'm embarrassed by it now because, if I'm around that kind of thing, I'm annoyed by it at my age.
Yeah, I hate that person.
But we ouch.
And I know how you were in high school. You were just hammered, big fat joint stick.
Oh man, I barely remember.
You guys were so drunk, right? And you went to see the neighborhood fireworks.
So yeah, we're watching them. And I think it was maybe the ones at the Capitol, right? So it was packed, absolutely packed. And we thought, people are going to love this. We're playing Britney Fox. They're going to love it because we love, Long Way to Love. I think in America, that we blasted that song.
Oh, my God. Don't make me do this again. Don't make me do this again, but I'm going to do it. You go ahead.
You do it. Go ahead. Well,
No.
Basically,
it's going to take me a minute.
The rest of the story basically is we just blasted it. We thought people are going to love it. And now that I'm older and I can look back, I'm embarrassed because I bet they all hated it. I bet they couldn't stand it.
You ruined a couple 4th of Julys that year.
I bet we did. And I feel bad about it.
You're cranking In America by Britney Fox from their debut record. I have to do this again. And this is totally on the fly. I'm going to do my best for you. But, again, probably spending way too much time discussing this band, but that's how Josh and I are wired once you get us started on 80s rock.
I bet Britney Fox, they're cool with it.
I hope so.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Assed Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
Yeah, they had a hit record there, their debut record. But when you read their lyrics, it makes you wonder, did a 4th grader write this stuff? And that's what kind of woke me up to, oh my God, these guys are, I got to find these song lyrics for you. Well, let's just try this one, for example.
See, I'm saved from that because I don't listen to lyrics.
I know.
Chorus. So, and you've told me some lyrics before of songs I've heard forever, and I thought, that is so stupid.
I'm a lyrics guy.
I know you are. You really are. I'm not at all.
That's what woke me up when I was a kid, and I thought, my God, this is stuff that anyone could have written in 4th grade. The music was very basic as well, but whatever. I don't care. People try to kick AC/DC around for being simplistic. I don't look at that as a negative. If you can make it work, you make it work. So that it's not the music, it was the lyrics.
Oh, no. Oh, geez, Jesus said his parents were there the day that I blasted this song on the boombox. They argued that night, and they got a divorce a month later. So thanks for that.
Oh, man, Josh, you're a homewrecker.
Here are the actual lyrics to this song, In America, by Brittany Fox. These were grown people who wrote this. A place we could live, you know of it. It's a rockin' place. You all show it. If you want some fun, well, come right over. It's a place to be. We all know that.
Oh, that's the worst, the last line.
We just want to tell you about it so you don't miss out in America. And so as a high school kid, I started reading these, and it just completely blew my image of what it takes or the skill level you need to possess to be a professional musician. I thought, if you're going to be signed to a record contract, you must be a brilliant musician. And I know what you're saying. How did you think that? You were a Kiss fan. But you know what I mean? I thought of it as this is the upper echelon. Then I read some of these. I got to find another example for you here because I know there's.
Look for one for A Long Way to Love. Did they have any silly?
Well, Long Way to Love, actually, I thought was relatively well written. But let me look a little closer.
Did you like Girls' School?
Girls' School is catchy. I
always wanted to hang out in the locker room at Girls' School.
Yeah.
What about Louder?
I'm sorry, what?
Louder?
We don't know the song Louder.
Yeah, I don't know that
We
one.
can't make fun of Louder.
That one's pretty bad.
That must have been on their second or third record.
Yeah,
was that off their record called Boys in Heat?
No, it's called Bite Down Hard.
Yeah, that was before.
What year was that? Do you have that on?
91.
Yeah, no one cared about
91.
them.
No, I was way done with them.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad too.
You know, their look, they could have enrolled at the girls' school and nobody would know.
It was terrible.
Weren't these Philadelphia guys?
Yep.
Yes.
I wonder if they'll be at the Super Bowl performing.
Okay, let me just throw these at you real quick. What this man just said, Dizzy Dean Davidson, by the way, was the name. A school bell rings off the day, brings in a stray. Few girls at play. All right? He's rhyming everything quite nicely. Don't you agree, Ashley?
Yeah.
Because that's the key to writing a song. Things better rhyme, and they better rhyme quickly. Okay? He continues on to say, cut school. Pink slips are fine for a good time. Boys on their mind. A bad girl smoking in school, breaking the rules, acting real cool. Again, a fifth grader could have done that. Talking about all the rock boys, backseat joys, some boys' toys.
What?
That's beautiful. That's poetry right there.
But in 1987, they said, look at the hair on these sumbitches. Sign them. Put them on a tour with Poison.
I'm looking at their Wikipedia right now, and they're one of those bands where it might be easier to name the musicians that haven't been a member of the band at one point or another.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anybody of note? Or maybe
you might recognize the names, I wouldn't, but it's a long list.
Yeah, L.A. Guns, Faster Pussycat, Brittany Fox, Anthrax. I'm trying to come up with the bands who have an endless amount of Black Sabbath. It would take you a full afternoon to scroll through everyone who has played in Black Sabbath. I mean, of course, they've been around since 1965. At any rate, I always thought that was fun stuff to just really look through the lyrics of some of these songs, not just Brittany Fox, but quite a few other bands where you go, oh, my God, how in the hell did you get away with that?
Well, so I've mentioned this one before. The only lyrics that really stood out to me that I kind of paid attention to is we mentioned the band Danger Danger.
Andy Timmons, they were terrible.
I liked them. Hey, listen to the guitar in there. Andy Timmons is a guitar guy. He is so good. He's so good. So this one stands out for me. One girl ain't enough for me. I think I'll play with two. I stack them up like pancakes, flip them over when I'm through. And by the way, that's the song "Horny Son of a Bitch." So stupid.
They were terrible. They were just terrible.
Worst lyricists ever.
I'm going to give it to Brittany Fox, but
oh man.
Oh wow, what else is going on around here?
Doesn't it sound like a Steel Panther song? You know, Steel Panther would do that as a joke.
But they were serious about it.
No, they meant it.
Yeah, they meant that stuff. All right, we might as well get going. Let me reiterate the guests that'll be popping by. Marcus Foligno at 8 a.m., and like we were saying, he's probably in a pretty good mood. He's only got to play a couple games of hockey this week, and then he's off. Yeah.
Wonder if he's ever been called a boner barn.
I doubt it.
Nah, probably not.
I doubt it.
He'd punch you for that.
Little Village Jesus says, don't forget Wasp. Oh, the lyrics for Animal, F like a beast. Sure. Blackie Lawless and Wasp. They were much, much better songwriters than Brittany Fox or Danger, Danger. Oh, and then also later on this morning, Andrea Johnston, veterinarian Andrea Johnston, will be coming in studio to help you out with your pet. We'll give you a heads up when you can text on that. We'll take a little break, and come back here in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right. What have we covered so far? We were talking about the months of the year, weren't we, Josh? We were singing about it.
Yep, one of my favorite songs.
We went ahead and sang about the months of the year. Hope you enjoyed it. You missed it. It's not going to be a repeat performance, not this morning. Somebody texted in an interesting question. Did you ever date a month girl? And what they mean by that is a gal with a name like June or May or April. I never have. One listener texted in to say he never dated a June or a May or an April, but he did date a Hope and a Faith. And he says, now I have neither.
How do you get it back? How do you get it back?
Because they was both badass crazy, he says. We also discussed terrible song lyrics. And this is something we could do for a week. You know, there's so many bands that write just brutally stupid lyrics. But somehow they're living high on the hill with billion-dollar contracts, and here we sit every day trying to... But anyway, the band that always comes to mind when anyone brings up terrible song lyrics, it's an old 80s rock band called Brittany Fox. Josh and I were going back and forth on some of their catchy songs. Don't get me wrong, their first record had some catchy songs, but just so poorly written. You'd honestly, if you had never heard the songs or ever heard of the band, and that's most of you, if I showed you the lyrics, you'd think it was a fourth grader in his very first little neighborhood band. And there was one, this is the one I was looking for when we were having the conversation, Josh. These are actual lyrics from Brittany Fox from their first record, a song called, and even the title of the song is just, what? That's the title? The title of the song is called Fun in Texas. Fun in Texas. Can't you see a fourth grader writing that on a piece of paper and then begin? Here are the lyrics. A bit of Texas in my veins. I think I'm going insane. A cowgirl knocking at my door. Oh, baby, just give me a roar. Rocking out the Alamo, San Antonio, just give me a yo. I love Texas. Oh, I do. In Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
I wish I was in a production meeting there where all of them were like, nailed it, man. Nailed it.
They're all high-fiving around the studio.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if maybe, so if, what song was this?
Fun
in Texas?
In Texas.
Maybe they did write it in 6th grade. And they've been holding on to it, you know, and they've been playing it at their school or whatever.
You turn the guitars up loud enough, no one can tell what the hell you're talking about. Round up the kids in town. Tell them that I'm coming down. All the fun. The midday sun. No crimes. the sheriff's gun. I love Texas. Oh, I do. In Texas. Beautiful, man.
It's very Brick from Anchorman, right? Where he's just looking around the room, just pointing, like, just naming things he sees.
It's very true.
And he's putting it in a song.
All right. How about that artificial intelligence, huh?
It's all the rage. You hear about it quite a bit.
Do you use that kind of thing often, Josh? Artificial intelligence?
My phone has it now. So, yeah, it uses it a little bit. Like for example, I'll get a email or a text and it'll summarize it, like in the notification.
I don't know what you mean. No, I don't understand.
So, like, somebody will send you an email, right? Like, here's an example.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, got one from a buddy.
An electronic mail.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who was listening this morning. So he texted me, and we were talking about, our favorite months.
Yes, we were.
There was a poll on Americans' favorite months. And so he had I said October, and he mentioned some other ones. So the little description said, disagrees with favorite month of the year, and then it said a couple other things. So it's just like one sentence summarizing an entire email.
And you know, how do you know that artificial intelligence did that for you?
Because they say in all the commercials, this is the artificial intelligence. It was an update, right? One of the you have it too on your phone.
Okay.
If I texted you and I was just like, hey, bitch, like, you're a bitch, but like kept saying the word bitch, would it come up as, Ashley's calling you a bitch?
I don't know. Text me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me
see.
I thought I understood what this stuff meant, but now that the two of you have talked about it a little bit.
That's just one example. I mentioned that example because you have it on your phone. Maybe you just haven't activated it or don't realize.
Yeah, I don't have any idea. This is a cute twist now on the topic of artificial intelligence. A company out there, Summers, by the name of Anthropic. It says here now, follow this if you can. They're the company behind a popular AI writing assistant called Claude, but they're asking all job applicants to not use AI to help filling out their applications.
That's pretty funny.
You see how they are?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're saying, hey, we make a living through artificial intelligence. We want every swinging D to use it. Just don't use it when filling out an application to work here.
I'm an idiot. I'll always walk with Elias. Jesus reminded me that I have my own AI Chris Lindahl. I forgot that I have one of those. Yeah. And by the way, I'd like to apologize for how often that ad runs. Had I known, I never would have made it.
Josh, it's like a hit song.
People are going to hate it eventually.
No. It's like a hit song. You got to pump it out there because folks like it. So Claude, again, is the name of this AI gimmick brought to you by a company called Anthropic. On their website, they say this here. Talk to Claude anywhere you go. Brainstorm ideas, get answers, and analyze images on the go. The Claude app puts the power of frontier intelligence, whatever that means, in your back pocket. But at the same time, they say, while we encourage people to use AI systems during their role to help them work faster and more effectively, please do not use AI assistants during the application process if you want a job with us. We want to evaluate your non-AI assisted communication skills. Please indicate yes if you have read and agree. Is that a joke there at the end or something?
Probably not.
Okay. Oh.
Here's another example for you, Nick. Those songs we created, where we wrote the lyrics and it just put together a song for us. Now, you could on that particular website say, hey, write me a song about Texas, right? Go back to the Texas. Write me a song about Texas and it would. So that'd be another example.
Okay, but what you're saying is you receive emails from people and artificial intelligence rewrites the email for them?
No, it summarizes. Well, you can have it rewrite an email for you, too.
Jesus, whatever.
So, you could write an email out. And so one of the commercials is pretty funny. There's a guy that's pissed off at his boss or whatever. So he writes this kind of scathing email. And then he gives you an opportunity to change the tone. So change the tone to friendly, and then it's more professional. and it's not going off on it. So you can do that too.
It's way above my level of I really have no idea what we're talking about. But isn't there a concern now, haven't we had this conversation, Josh, that kids doing homework these days are just dialing up AI this and that, and the AI thing writes everything for them, and because of AI, kids these days are too dumb to write up their own book report and things like that?
There's some of that, and also the accuracy is not quite there in some of the chat models. So you might say Abraham Lincoln. He was president from 2000 to 2004, that kind of thing. Might screw it up.
So be careful if you're going to have AI write your book report. They make mistakes just like we do.
Correct.
And could end up making you look like a complete jackass.
Yeah, some people love AI and some people absolutely hate it.
I'll let you know, Ashley, when I have even the slightest understanding of it, where I stand.
Perfect.
But it's a thing.
Wait a minute. I used to deliver lube by the truckload. Jesus said that ad we were talking about, the Lindahl one, airs on other stations. Well, why aren't I getting money for that? Somebody
I forgot.
pay me. I want some cash, and that's cash with a K.
I forgot to tell you about the fine print there, Josh. Yeah, you don't get a dime out of that.
Well, this is news to me.
All right, now things are going to get even more techie and complex. Says here now, most men are fine with their sex robot twin hooking up with their partner. Okay, when the hell did we dudes get sex robot twins? Because I didn't get one.
Yeah, me neither. Getting gypped, just like Josh.
As you can tell so far, I barely speak this language at all. But I'm going to go ahead anyway, and I'll trust that you folks have my back. The story says there was a time when artificial intelligence was merely science fiction, but it has now crept into how we live our lives. And that's all I'm trying to do over here, Josh. I'm just trying to live my life.
That's it. Only God can judge you.
Artificial intelligence now has a role in, say, things like driving directions, music suggestions, even ordering food. And what did we just get done talking about? It'll do your homework for you. It'll write a song for you. Somehow it plays into our emails. That's the part that really has me lost, but you don't have to re-explain it to me.
I'd like to learn more about it. I mean, just see if there's anything it can help.
Well, you'd be the guy, I think, to figure it out.
Like, I know very, very little, as you can tell. I know, like, little bits of things it does. Teacher Jesus said he has students that tries to use AI to write their papers. But there, he said, I use AI to detect AI. It's pretty easy.
I think you do a wonderful job in explaining all of this nonsense. So, as the use of AI continues to expand, the folks at a place called Zip Health wanted to find out how much we trust artificial intelligence, okay? How much we trust artificial intelligence when it comes to our most personal concerns. Personal concerns. So whoever Zip Health is, they cut loose with a survey. They asked real live human beings how they felt about AI playing a role in our relationships. And here's what they came away with, okay? About 25% of folks said they would be comfortable if their significant other got folded in half by a sex robot modeled after themselves.
I'd be 100% okay with that. I might even take a run at it. I'd let my wife do that for sure. I mean, I might get a little jealous of it if she's not interested in me anymore and just wants the sex robot. But heck yeah, I'd be pretty excited about it.
Again, so, that sounds like fun. I'd like a ringside seat for that.
I want to watch you do me.
Yeah.
That'd be way too weird.
Just so you understand, 25% of us are cool with, and I'll use Josh as an example, if there was a robot duplicate of Josh and it pinned Josh's wife, 25% of us will be okay with that happening. Ashley, you are not okay with that?
No, that's a little too weird for me.
Well, of course it's weird, for Christ's sake. You're watching a robot version of yourself have sex with your significant other.
Yeah, I'd be like, what? Where do we go from here?
Okay.
How do we talk after this?
Oh, my God.
Really?
There's so much to talk about after that. There's-
How
would
was
want
I?
to.
Yeah.
Wait. Honestly, you're so adventurous, which disgusts me. And so that's something that you wouldn't be cool with. Huh?
No, that would be odd.
I wonder if that's a man versus woman thing, because I bet my wife would not be cool with it. Not at all.
No, from what you tell us about your wife, her jealousy runs deep.
Even if she closed down shop and said, you know what, we're done. This is never going to happen between you and me again.
She still wouldn't want you banging a robot version
I can't imagine.
Well, what are you supposed to do?
That's what I said.
Right.
That would be part of my anger, Josh, is that I would be like, because I'm more of the aggressor when it comes to sexual activity in my relationship.
Come on,
so
Ashley.
I would be like, dude, like, what, I've been waiting here, and then you're gonna go screw a robot that looks like me? Like, I've been trying to have sex all day.
What if you're still getting it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as if, Ashley.
Nothing's changed.
You need to understand. It's not that your significant other has said F you to you, and all he's going to do is pin this robot. It's just, as far as the question goes, it may be just one time.
Yeah, I would still be upset. Like, you could have just came to me, man.
Okay, but
What if you're out of town?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're in
Ashley. What if
Ireland.
you're out of town?
You're in Ireland. He's gone for 2 weeks.
Gang up on her, guys.
Yeah, let's get her. Drag her ass.
It's still weird to think about him having sex with a robot.
Well, of course, it's weird.
I don't like that. Yeah, I'm not down for that.
But wait a minute. Is it jealousy or just it's too weird?
Too weird.
Okay.
I don't know if my wife's listening, but if you are, baby doll, let me know. Can I hump you as a robot?
That was sweet.
How do you feel about it? Was it really?
Baby doll.
I totally understand that it's weird, and if that's your stand, who can argue with you? Because it's really bizarre to think that your significant other is just absolutely, what do you call this, Josh? Just
Rusty?
just blasting into a robot version of you.
Yeah.
Of course, there's probably nothing more bizarre in the entire world. I'm glad to hear that you don't call it jealousy, because that would be silly. Because as we know, those people are out there. Flatliners is what I call them. Now, 20% of people said they wouldn't want their significant other to bang a robot version of them out of jealousy, which is so silly. It's a flippin' bucket of bolts, for God's sake.
And it looks like you.
It looks like, and it's you, right?
Yeah, now if he had a different robot that looked like, I don't know, his childhood girlfriend growing up, then I'd have an issue.
Totally different animal there.
More of a jealousy
Absolutely.
thing.
Totally different animal.
Although now I'm starting to have, because it's AI, right? So it's what if it becomes sentient and it starts telling my wife, like in the pillow talk, Robot Josh wants to kill real Josh. And then what if she goes along with it?
Dude, there's movies out there
Well,
like
then-
that.
All right, now my wife is texting. She said if it doesn't replace her, she's okay with it. I just
If it
want to
doesn't
say,
replace her.
yeah, I want to go on record and say I'm not buying that at all. But
No.
that's what she said.
You just said even if she was done having sex, she still wouldn't want you banging a robot version of her.
That'd be, I believe, if we were ever really in that situation, that's how it would play out. But she's
Well,
claiming
that's
otherwise.
criminal. If she doesn't allow you to have sex with her, that should be a crime. Look, no, you two are married. No, I'm not having sex with you, and no, you can't have sex with a robot. Well, what am I supposed to do?
I'm running out of options.
Vintage video game collector Jesus said, just think about it. If you had a robot twin, you could finish as quickly as you want and then just tag them in to finish the job.
Right. It's like the buddy
Off
of
the
mine.
top rope.
I've told you about the buddy of mine whose significant other, he and his significant other, they've been together for many, many years. And naturally, you're not exactly tearing each other limb from limb like it's prom night anymore, for Christ's sake. You're in your 50s. But I'll tell you this. He still wanted it now and again, and his significant other kept shutting him down, right? And again, fine. You know, we're not kids anymore. I get it. But there are still needs. A release is necessary now and again.
You got to get the poison out.
Yeah.
Got to get the poison out. So she catches him whacking his bag in front of the, what do you call this here?
Laptop.
Right? And she says, oh, so this is what you want. Porn stars and lube and strap-ons and lesbians. And this is what you want. And he says, look, You're not offering it up anymore. So he looked into her eyes and he said, so it's either this or I kill somebody.
Oh, man.
I love that response.
I thought this was a funny text. Speaking of loving responses, Ashley at an orgy must be a weird experience. She's over in the corner, rolling in a puddle of blood, and then pointing at people screwing robots saying, you guys are weird. All right, so the AI summaries coming in via text. Dana and Ashley have both texted me. I think they didn't summarize it because I think your texts are too short.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was worried about that.
Oh, darn.
Dana, first and foremost, thank you.
You're welcome.
He said I have a high-quality penis.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley, you kind of sound like my daughter in this text. This is something she would text me. You said, hey, what's up, bitch? You're a bitch who gets bitches, bitch. I think it was just too short.
Okay.
So what were you looking to happen there?
So we were going to have an example of it summarizing, it's usually longer things, right? Like an email or something like that.
Your text machine is controlled by AI. So when I text you, Josh, like we do damn near every night, AI edits my text?
If it'll summarize it. It doesn't edit.
I don't get it.
Well, just think of like if I said, hey, Derek, our boss, emailed us, and he wants us to start taking the garbage out, right? So I just summarized what could have been 3 paragraphs of him talking about us taking. It's the same type of thing.
I put that same text that I sent you, Josh, into the Chat GPT, which is an AI app I have on my iPhone, and they said, you're basically just calling someone a bitch multiple times, but you're also saying that they get bitches. So it's an insult with a really weird compliment mixed in.
Okay, Purple Belt Jesus brings up a good point. Now, if my wife's still listening, I'd love her to answer this question. See how jealous she is, though, when you come home with a version of her from 20 years ago when you first met.
Oh,
See,
no.
It's you, but just you when you were better.
Don't do that. Are you trying to get killed?
That's ice cold.
Oh, no, I'm in so much trouble. But that was a funny text.
Ice ass cold right there. I love it.
Dang, that was good.
All right, so
You imagine.
Dude, that'd be so bogus.
she's wearing her cheerleader outfit from high school.
Or like my wife's like, hey, listen, you said you'd be okay with it, so I did order that sex doll of you. It was back when you used to go to the gym. That's the version I ordered. That would hurt.
The doll's wearing a T-shirt that says 20 pounds lighter. Well, who's that? What do you mean, who's that? It says so on the T-shirt. That's you, 20 pounds lighter.
Oh, man.
I imagine will be the response. Okay.
That text made me tear up.
So there's a certain amount of us that would be cool if our significant other folded a robot version of us. There's a certain amount of people who would not be cool with that. All right. We've established that. Here are the folks we should keep a close eye on in the coming years. A small percentage of people said they would choose an AI robot lover over a human, but only if that robot could, quote, perfectly simulate love and affection.
I might feel weird if I had feelings for a AI sex robot.
Oh, is that right? You're speaking of feelings for a robot?
Yes.
Because 2% of people admitted they have developed feelings for an AI chatbot or robot-style companion.
Wow.
I love you, they said. But again, back to these other folks, they would choose an AI robot lover over a human, but only if that robot could perfectly simulate love and affection, whatever the hell that means. Deep feelings, Cubby, they have.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
A little bit.
Things get boring from here in the article. I'll tell you this, erectile dysfunction ironically comes up in the conversation. There's a certain amount of dudes who would rather talk to a robot than their wife about their boner problems.
That's in there because that Zip Health, they send prescription meds for ED.
Okay, who?
The Zip Health.
Where this is coming from.
Where this is coming
from.
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten the source of this material. Appreciate that.
Oh, that makes sense.
Some people would rather a robot rate their sexual performance than a human being. So I guess you down a six-pack, you jackhammer a robot lady and ask that thing if you're bringing heat. or not, instead of asking the wife, how was I?
How sad. They're just like, yeah, you suck.
You get a
dude.
report card from a robot.
I wouldn't mind
Straight
knowing.
Fs.
I kind of would like that.
I bet the robot could keep a secret. Installing pipe Jesus said, cool with it. I'd be Eiffel Towering myself. My wife has responded to Purple Belt Jesus, who said, see how jealous she'd be when you come home with a version of her from 20 years ago. She said, ask Purple Belt Jesus if he'd be okay with his wife getting a robot version of a real man like his black belt instructor. And then she wrote, kidding, obvious.
Well,
I like that.
Clap back.
You touched a nerve.
here's a guy who I believe is texting in reference to the story about my buddy who wasn't getting any at home, so he had to jag it in front of his computer. This listener says, I always tell my wife if you don't feed the dog, it'll go digging in the trash.
Jeez.
Nick, it's been a while since you've seen him, but a good buddy of mine who I used to live with, he ended up getting divorced, and this kind of it was the beginning of it. His wife had closed up shop, and they were only married a couple of years, and they were younger.
Shut it down.
Shut it down, and they were
Out of business.
late 20s, I'd say.
Late 20s?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
done.
too young. You're not even in your sexual prime yet.
What, is she religious or something?
Yes, very.
Oh, no.
Very. And I don't know if it had to do with that or what. I mean, it's not like she wanted out of the marriage or anything. That's just something she didn't want to do anymore. And so
Closed. Sorry, we're closed.
he's not the type of guy to talk about this kind of thing.
What, is he religious or something?
No, not really. He's just he's more private. But I lived across the street from him at the time, and he ended up moving in with me shortly after this. But he said, hey, I might need to stay with you for a little while. I got kicked out of the bedroom. I have to sleep on the couch because she caught me masturbating.
What?
And it was the same thing. He's pleading with her like, well, I had to. I mean, you said you didn't want to do that anymore. I had to.
God help us all.
And so, yeah, he had to sleep on the couch for a bit. And I'd say within 6 months, we were roomies.
Oh, I wouldn't want to catch my man doing that. That's not pleasant, but I think I would try to pretend that I didn't see it.
I agree, Ashley. I wouldn't want to catch your boyfriend masturbating either.
I don't want to know what face he puts on. I don't know.
Well, you've probably seen it.
You've probably seen
I
it.
think you know the faces.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe
Wouldn't
it's
it be
different when you're watching
No,
porn
it's
or
not
something.
different. Wouldn't that be something if it was?
It was like an angry face. That's what I'm picturing. Anger.
Now, you want to know when you're really hard up, and I always like to tell this story about a pal of mine. Like Josh was just saying, his wife shut it down, closed permanently. And he would complain a lot about that, and of course we would bust his balls relentlessly. That's just how life works. And then we die. That's how it works. You get shut down from sex. Your friends bust your balls endlessly, and then we all end up dead.
It's the number one killer of men.
Right. But I'll never forget. He and I were shooting pool one night, and he looked over at me and he said, "Yeah, you know what, Borny? I'm at the point now where I'd pay a woman $20 just to look at my penis." All right. Who here likes Cocoa Puffs?
I love Cocoa Puffs.
It's been a long time, but I thought they were pretty good.
But Reese's Puffs.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I've never had those.
Has anyone tried labia puffs?
I have, yes.
No. I haven't had Reese's Puffs.
I don't like to put milk on there because that seems kind of gross. But yes.
Again, a show of hands if you've tried labia puffs. Okay.
Nope.
Yes, my friends. The latest hip, hot, trendy, and of course slightly dangerous cosmetic gimmick is where women go ahead and get their labias, quote, puffed.
No. I'm uncomfortable.
Josh, they're calling it the other kind of lip filler.
Yeah.
Which is crass and disgusting.
It is.
Let me tell you how this works now.
Before 7 a.m. even, we have to talk about that. That's rough.
Labia puffs. Step 1, ladies. Spread them. Step 2, close your eyes. Brace yourself. Says here, doctors, step 3 now. Doctors stab something called dermal fillers right into your crotch.
Nope.
And it says, I think they transfer fat from your ass cheeks or something into your labia dam majora to restore what they call here plumpness is the word they use, plumpness.
Kind of surprised this is an issue. Is it something girls think of? I mean, do your girlfriends talk about this? Like, boy, I really have deflated labia.
No, but we're still young. Maybe that kind of stuff happens, after you start having kids, stuff like that.
Ashley, imagine a dude hanging down there on a Saturday night. You know what I'm talking about by down there?
Yep.
And he says, hey, you're looking damn plump down here.
Oh, gosh, I'd kick him in his face.
Good for you.
Ew.
Good for you. Doctors want us to believe that labia plump jobs will soon be as common as bolt-on sweater cannons.
That's hard to believe.
I don't think so.
I don't think that's going to happen either.
They say labia puffing has grown popular over the last year. Have you noticed, Josh?
No.
Have you noticed a change in labias?
Yeah, the girls at the book club, we don't talk about that.
Ladies are looking to make the labia majora, which, of course, as you all know, is the outermost part of the vulva, I think is the correct word.
Yeah, I think a Volvo's a car.
They're looking to make the labia majora more plump and youthful. One doctor said, I've had women in their 20s get this procedure because they feel their labia is very underwhelming, like a sad labia.
Sad labia.
Do you think if somebody presented us 10 pictures of vaginas, we could guess the age? I don't know.
I'd like to try.
That'd be a fun game. Nice
like
bonding exercise.
Wait a minute. I recognize this one.
Yeah.
I know whose this is it.
So gals in their 20s have shown up because they have sad labia, the doctor says. And he's also had older gals in their 40s sign up to have their gear plumped sideways. The article indicates that age, weight loss, and or childbirth can leave you with sad labia. And by God, once they puff you, it'll make you a more confident person, especially when it comes to, as Josh would say, boning.
I've never really thought much about what it looks like down there.
I'm glad you don't worry about that. Yeah, 'cause I'll tell you this. At least me and my group of friends, we've never been having a conversation and somebody said, yeah, I met a girl on Tinder. She's great and all, but she has gaunt labia, and I just can't deal with it.
Gaunt?
I need a more youthful labia.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with a man that is focusing on that. Like, you should consider yourself just lucky to be down there in the first place.
Exactly.
A gaunt labia.
Somebody's a little full of themselves.
Absolutely. Heck yeah, that's a privilege.
All right, you can't
Preach.
make this up. You can't. A 42-year-old woman who signed up to get puffed, she said she got in line for the procedure because her vagina was, quote, looking like an old, worn-out gym sock.
Oh.
Come on.
What does that mean?
Another doctor comes into play here in this article about labia puffing, and that doctor says that she's ass-deep in labias. She's cracking off a puff job once every couple of weeks. And ladies, if you go in for this, they say expect 3 to 6 syringes stabbed into your sensitive labia, depending on how much plumpness you looking for. Another labia doctor said, you don't see many women who want more than 6 syringes. Most women want volume, but they don't want, a huge camel toe. That's a doctor, direct quote from a doctor.
I wonder if it will go the same route as lip injections.
I was just thinking that.
Where some people, they get addicted to it and then they kind of go overboard.
Yeah.
It's just ballooned up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go a little too far down there.
Next thing you know, your labia is the size of a football.
Ma'am, you have balls. Hot widow, she just said, finally, a surgery I don't need. Plump and pretty, she says.
It's $2,500 in trade for a puff job. And with that, they say your gear is good to go for about a year. But the air does slowly leak out of the balloon, and they'll have to stab you all over again to get it going. Like with any procedure, it comes with certain risks, like swelling, irritation, bruising, an irreversible tuba sound coming from the labia?
Whatever.
Sure, I've seen that like in cartoons when someone's a little heavier. Yeah.
It's irreversible.
Bruising.
And possibly you could have an allergic reaction. Okay, one more comment here. One lady who got puffed. When she saw her new look down there, she said, I'm getting turned on just looking at myself.
You know what? Good
That
for her.
happens to me.
If that makes you happy and you want to do that, go for it. But I'm going to sit this one out. That seems painful.
Ain't that puffed enough? Boom, boom, boom. Who was that? The Fabulous Thunderbirds, Josh?
I dig that
Ain't
tune.
that puffed enough?
That's a fun song.
Twang.
That'll put you in a good mood.
Yeah, the Fabulous stuff. Yeah, the puff job, Cubby. All the ladies are lining up for it.
Stop. That'd be crazy.
Boom!
Oh, no.
Ah!
Oh, no.
I don't want
We went too far. New guy in the corner puking his guts out.
Just exploding vagina.
Are you fresh from a puff job? Damn right I am.
You know, that's irreversible right there. That noise
I know it's
making.
irreversible. They told me in the office.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
What's up, Twin Cities? This is Jimmy Butler. You're listening to the Half-Assed Morning Show on 93X.
Kyle Anderson, Dennis Schroeder, and Andrew Wiggins. We robbed them. First round pick, protect. No, they didn't give out the year. No, I swear to God.
I'm hearing you. Yeah, so little Jimmy Butler was traded from the Miami Heat to the stinking Golden State Warriors. That's disgusting. But the audio we had there, the Miami Heat playing a game last night. Of course, Butler's not on the bench because he's a punk. And some fan gets the notice on his phone about the trade, and he tells the Heat players on the bench all about it. They're like, wait, what? Who'd we get?
Yeah, their reaction was funny.
Like, yeah, Dennis Schroeder, slow-mo, this, that.
That video's up on 93x.com.
Kevin Love was on the bench listening to everything that kid had to say about the trade. You know, that's how it works these days. Random people find out on social media before the teams do. Death from above, we used to call him around here. Kevin Love, back when he played for the Tampa Bay. Josh, you're keeping him laughing out there in the listening audience.
I am?
But you always do. You always do.
What did I do?
Got a text message from elementary music teacher Sheeses, and she said she laughed so hard when we were talking about labia puffing that she stabbed herself in the eye with her mascara wand.
Oh, that hurts. I'm sorry, girl. Ouch.
This joke is a little crass, but I think I can say it because it's from a lovely lady in the sisterhood, Pull Tab Voyeur Sheeses. She has a labia-themed dad joke. You guys ready for a labia-themed dad joke?
Yeah.
Why couldn't the Mary Kay lady walk right? 'Cause her lipstick.
Son of a bitch.
That's
the
good.
imagery there.
Anthony Edwards scored a lot of points last night. Wolves beat the Chicago Bulls. The Pigs play at their home rink tonight. We'll talk to Marcus Foligno at 8 o'clock in the morning. Josh's news is coming up next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
I want a hotel. I need sanitary towels. You will give me food tonight. 17 hours layover. 17 hours. Act of wickedness. I have blood clot issues.
Now, if you guessed that lady just threw a used tampon at airline staff, my God, you're good at guessing, because that's what happened.
Yuck.
A furious airline passenger went into a meltdown at an airport check-in counter after being denied boarding, hurling her soiled sanitary pads at staff.
Come on.
The 27-year-old menstruating menace had flown from Nigeria and was en route to England with a planned stopover in Paris. But when airline staff broke the unfortunate news that she lacked the required transit visa for France, her travel plans and apparently her patience came crashing down. In an attempt to smooth things over, Kenya Airways staff offered her an alternative route through London. But rather than accepting the detour, the furious flyer flew into a rage and took it out on check-in agents who somehow managed to keep their cool despite her anger. Visibly angry and on her period, the argument got messy when she ripped out a used sanitary pad and flung it onto the counter.
What do you mean, like she reached into her pants?
She grabbed it fresh.
Oh, that makes it worse that it's a pad, too.
Why does that?
That's what makes it bad?
Yeah, that's worse.
How in God's name did that come into play?
And it was kind of like a game of cornhole because it landed briefly on the table and then it tumbled to the floor where it lay in a bloody mess. And it must have been a heavy flow month because moments later, she reloaded. 2 more crimson corks joined the first, slicing through the air with startling precision.
What do you mean she had 2 more?
She had a whole gaggle of them.
What in the world?
She keeps them.
She's wearing 3 at once?
I guess.
Whoa.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, like I said, it must have been kind of a big day for her down there. In a statement, Kenya Airways stood by their decision, saying they had offered her a generous alternative after she was found to be missing the necessary documents. They strongly condemned her behavior, adding, in a distressing turn of events, the guest resorted to inappropriate behavior by removing and throwing 3 used sanitary pads at our employees. Following the ordeal, a Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority spokesperson met with Kenya Airways and agreed to have the woman deported back to Nigeria that same night.
I've never thought of using my used sanitary napkins as a weapon.
You haven't?
Well, no,
Nope.
actually. I don't
Because
think
I'm normal, I think.
Yeah, that's not a common thought. Thank God she wasn't wearing a colostomy bag or anything.
Oh, boy.
Heard stories like that.
Yeah.
People get that angry. A 15-year-old boy brandished a firearm, demanded a plane at Texarkana Regional Airport in Arkansas before a pilot packing a gun disarmed him Tuesday.
15-year-old kid.
15, yep.
Yeah, we're in good shape, aren't we, Josh?
The teen entered the airport shortly before 7:30 a.m. with a handgun and an AR-style rifle, police said. He walked up to a ticket counter and ordered workers to get him a plane. A witness who saw the exchange managed to flee and alert officers of what happened. Some employees backed away, locked themselves in a safe room, and called 911. The suspect exited the building and then walked right onto the airfield. A pilot working for a private flight service at the airport, aware of the incident, grabbed his own firearm from his truck, approached the suspect, and ordered him to the ground.
Get off my plane.
The suspect complied. The pilot disarmed him, and authorities quickly arrived to take the teen into custody. The airport director said while he was thankful it turned out the way it did, he believes they still have work to do to improve security.
Anytime
not so
you have an
tough
incident
anymore.
like this, we find ways to improve it, make it faster, make it so that way, if you can even shave 10 to 15 seconds off, that can mean more lives saved in the future. So we will find ways to improve our systems.
No one was injured in the confrontation.
So this kid is obviously a basket case, but do you think he's aware of how easily he could have had his brains sprayed all over that runway?
I don't know. I would think you'd be aware this might not go the way you want.
9 times out of 10, you walk into an airport swinging a weapon, you're dead.
Yeah. I mean,
Jesus balls.
At the very least, you could get hit in the face with a sanitary napkin. A Michigan man.
Which one do you prefer?
I don't know.
That or death?
I'd have to think about it.
Good Lord.
Because the rest of my life, I'd be wiping sanitary napkin off my face.
You'd never get that feeling.
Yeah, I would feel like it all the time.
Completely gone.
A Michigan man threatened 2 police officers with a chainsaw last week as they responded to a call.
But what's the risk there if a guy has a chainsaw?
Well, it'll make your ass raw.
Oh.
Officers were sent around 11:30 a.m. last Thursday to investigate a possible violation of the city's burning ordinance. According to the police report, when they made contact with the suspect, he suddenly revved up a chainsaw and menacingly threatened them. Officers attempted to defuse the situation, urging the man to put the weapon down. After some tense moments, he finally dropped the chainsaw, but then he made a run for it. Police tried using a taser to stop him, but he managed to escape into a home, barricading himself inside a bedroom. Reinforcements from neighboring departments soon arrived, and when repeated calls for him to surrender went ignored, they forced their way into his room.
They beat his ass?
They didn't beat his ass.
What?
He resisted, but they took him into custody without beating his ass.
Lame.
He wasn't injured, and nor were the officers.
Come on, he was swinging a chainsaw. Beat that guy's ass.
At least make his ass raw.
Firefighters sprang into action Tuesday afternoon to rescue a 15-year-old boy who was impaled by a wrought iron fence while roughhousing with a friend in Queens.
It can happen.
Oh, I can't even imagine. The teen's leg was skewered by one of the sharp spikes, leaving him trapped when FDNY crews arrived about 3 p.m. With no time to waste, firefighters carefully cut away sections of the fence to free him while ensuring the metal inside his leg stayed put to prevent further injury. Firefighter Jason Schumacher used a bandsaw to slice through 3 vertical bars and the top horizontal rail, working methodically to avoid causing more damage to the kid. Within about 10 minutes, the team had him safely in the hands of EMS for transport to the hospital.
Today, about 3 o'clock, we had a call for a 15-year-old impaled in a fence. We were able to extricate that 15-year-old from the fence, give a critical care on the scene by our EMS personnel, and transport that person to Bellevue Hospital at a level 1 trauma center.
It's not easy, but that's why we drill on it every day, said FDNY Lieutenant Mark Martinez of Rescue 4 during a press conference. So when we do get there, we can make a difference and probably save someone's life.
We only just don't put out fires, but this is an example of what we do every day, the training, the dedication that goes on each and every day by this fire department and our specialized units. We're able to extricate this child from the fence and save his life.
According to initial reports, the teen and his friend were goofing around when one of them pushed the other, sending him tumbling onto the fence. I don't know if that's the correct story, Martinez admitted, but that's the report we got. Despite the painful ordeal, fire officials said the boy remained remarkably calm, which they said made the rescue operation run more smoothly.
I think I would have been panicking a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I probably would have passed out.
I bet you would have passed out, woke up, passed out. You know,
yeah.
Kind of like a computer that keeps rebooting,
Yeah.
immediately shutting down. Yeah. A 52-year-old Florida woman was arrested after she used a metal guitar to create a hit record with her daughter. To be clear, not a hit record in the musical way, a hit record, meaning hitting her multiple times with the musical instrument, which could have set a record.
She hit her daughter with a guitar.
Yeah.
Who does she think she is, Jeff Jarrett?
It wasn't bad grades, breaking curfew, or talking back that set Mom off, but the audacity to make Mom wait a whole 10 minutes when she went to pick her up at school. According to police, Mom was already fuming when her daughter finally strolled out. Learning the delay was due to some innocent conversation with the opposite sex sent her in such a rage, the mother called her daughter something Nick's wife despises with a passion.
Oh, wow.
A whore.
Mother called her daughter that.
Yes.
My mom's never called me a whore.
Well, she should have, because she's one, and it kind of passes down the family.
It runs in the family.
Once home, the girl retreated to her room, but Mom stormed in on a mission. She verbally shredded her daughter before grabbing the most metal thing in the room, a wall-mounted metal guitar. And just like that, the argument went from verbal to instrumental. Multiple swings, multiple hits, 0 Grammy nominations, but probably still better than anything off of Metallica's Saint Anger album. The mom hit the girl with the guitar, and the daughter told her off. Thankfully, the victim's sister recorded the entire incident, so when cops reviewed the footage, they confirmed the daughter's account, and now Mom's going to be in some trouble.
Man, oh man.
I'll bet that's smarts.
Who does she think she is? Honky Tonk Man?
A 67-year-old Florida bicyclist is accused of kidnapping a female driver at knife point after she accidentally hit him while making medication deliveries at a pharmacy. The victim told police she encountered Phelps, the man, at the traffic light last Thursday about 11:30 a.m. after he waved at her to proceed. Then he suddenly moved into the intersection, causing her to bump into him. When she got out to check on him, he smacked her phone out of her hand and told her she wasn't calling anyone.
Son of a bitch.
Again, he orchestrated this. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead. And then he rode right in front of her.
Slapped the phone out of her hand. That gets me every time. I don't know why.
Then he put his hand in his pocket, making it appear as if he had a weapon, and ordered her to put his bike in her car and give him a ride. Once inside, he sat in the front seat, placed an open pocket knife on his lap, and directed her to drive to a location.
So, what do you want to talk about?
After arriving, he took his bike and left, and the woman immediately returned to the pharmacy and called police. The next day, Phelps contacted the pharmacy, claiming one of their vehicles hit him and demanded they replace his bike. When officers traced his call to an address, he was nowhere to be found. Then on Saturday, he reported to police that he'd been struck while riding his bike. In an interview 2 days later, Phelps admitted he was very mad and upset and insisted the woman should return later to, quote, work out something for payment. But she said she was engaged. When asked why she'd mentioned being engaged in response to paying for his bike, Phelps said he wanted to work out a relationship with her since she hit him with the car.
I'm tired of this guy.
After she didn't return, Phelps contacted the pharmacy about the incident, leading to his arrest.
I think he wanted to date her?
Yeah, well, he thought, hey, maybe you should do something for me since you hit me with that car there. Which is
That's
probably
one way
why
to go about it.
Probably why he set this whole thing up.
Like a HJ or something?
I saw a guy get hit by a car. It was a hit and run. He was a bicyclist. And I picked him up to take him to the hospital, and he couldn't have been more of a dick.
Really?
Oh,
I'm sure he was in shock or whatever it was, but my goodness, was he mean.
Why was he mean to you?
I don't know.
What were some of the things he was saying to you?
Well, I'm trying to remember. So this is like almost...
Did he say, nice car, whore?
It was almost like 30 years ago. But yeah, he just was like, yeah, I'd understand you get hit by a car, you're probably in a bad mood, the person takes off. But he was a dick to me. I don't
That is so weird.
My brother and I once picked a guy up off the sidewalk and gave him a place to sleep for the night, and he couldn't have given us more attitude in the morning.
Why is that?
I don't know, because he's nuts. He's a crazy person. We should have known better than to pick a crazy person up and give him a place to sleep. He woke up, he's like, you guys got any cigarettes?
Well, that's going to deter you from doing anything good.
And we said, no. You got something to eat? No. Can I have a water? We don't have anything to drink. And the guy's like, well, you guys got no cigarettes, no water, nothing to eat? And we said, hey, douchebag, we just picked you up off the sidewalk a few hours ago.
That's how I felt. And
we threw him, literally physically threw him out of the house.
I had one other similar experience. I was driving with my brother, and we watched a motorcyclist wipe out. He was going too fast around a cloverleaf. And we ran over to make sure he was okay. And I think he was embarrassed, but he was an a-hole to us. We had the audacity to go help him out.
They're mentally ill.
Yeah,
we were too young to realize that at the time, but we're dealing with a mentally ill person.
I returned a guy's wallet once. I found a wallet on the sidewalk. Is an address nearby. I went and knocked on the guy's door, and he accused me of stealing his wallet, taking the cash, and then pretending to return it as a good Samaritan.
You know what you
no good deed goes unpunished.
Unbelievable.
Should have dropped his wallet on his step and said, paybacks are a bitch, and then just walked away.
If there was only a metal guitar on the wall, I'd kick your ass.
Make them worry about you. Make them wonder about you. Just say, paybacks are a bitch, and walk away.
A 28-year-old Denver accountant went on a shocking midday shooting spree, all because someone sat next to him on a park bench. The shooter, a licensed CPA who branded himself online as a small business owner and a certified joy enthusiast, believed his victims were part of a secret PSYOPs mission against him.
Speaking of the mentally ill.
Witnesses say it started with a heated argument when a man tried to sit beside him. Tensions escalated fast. He spat on the stranger, shoved him, then punched him in the back. As the victim tried to flee on his bike, the accountant pulled a gun and fired. Seconds later, with no warning or interaction, he shot a second victim from behind.
Jesus Christ.
Miraculously, both survived. After the attack, the gunman, who also describes himself online as having a deep passion to preach and teach the Word of God,
oh my gosh,
calmly walked to his car and sped away. Police caught up with him soon after, using a pit maneuver to force his vehicle off the road and take him into custody.
Just don't talk to people. That's my rule. my rule is now I'm just not communicating with anybody unless I 100% know them. No communication.
Safer that way.
Why? This guy is just out here spreading joy.
He's certified as a joy enthusiast.
No talking.
Tonight on Fox, the 2025 NFL Honors, hosted by Snoop Dogg, an award ceremony recognizing the NFL's best players, performances, and plays from the 2024 season.
Yeah. Something tells me I'll be skipping that.
Oh, actually, we kind of want to watch it.
What? You're not going to watch?
For the best plays, that'd be kind of fun.
Oh, you saw him already.
And how often you get a chance to see Snoop Dogg on TV?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a can't-miss kind of. He's never bothering anybody.
Yeah, good luck catching him anywhere else after this.
Right.
He played 13 seasons in the NBA. He was on one season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and he was married to Kim's bubble butt for all of 72 days. Hopkins high school grad and former Minnesota Mr. Basketball Chris Humphries is 40 today. Ultimate Classic Rock's best hair metal frontman, Axl Rose, 63. From the Luther Bloomington Kia text line at 651-989-9393. Best of luck to Trick Baby Sheezus. She's going in for some surgery tomorrow, hoping for good things. And Shoe Girl Sheezus and Muscle Weighs More Than Fat Jesus are going in for their first ultrasound tomorrow as well. That's from But I Have to Drive an Effing Garbage Truck Jesus. Godspeed to School Cop Jesus on his way to Hugo to teach DARE to elementary school kids for his final test to be a DARE instructor. Good luck to you.
Oh, I didn't know that was still around. That's cool.
A DARE instructor.
When we talked about it the other day, there's people texting in saying, yeah, they've either had it or they've led it before. Also a shout-out to his smoking hot honey wife. Happy birthday to my buddy Tim. Dustin texted a happy 29th to his lovely wife, Hannah. And happy birthday to Junkin' Fools Jesus from Book Nerd Jesus, who said, enjoy your day off, a-hole. And that's 93X News.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Patrick, for your whole career, you have had so many great people help you win. So who is your favorite ref?
All the refs are great, man. All the refs are great. They do the best they can. We go out there and play the game the right way.
Is there one that you give a Christmas card to every year, possibly?
Not that I can remember. I'll have to talk to some of my teammates and try to figure it out.
Travis, what do you love more, Taylor Swift or phantom 15-yard roughing the passer penalties in the playoffs?
That's a good question. Anybody else?
That's hilarious. Boston radio dorks going after those two douche wagons, Terry Kelsey, what the hell's his first name again, and Pizatrick Mahomes.
Travis Kelsey did not seem amused.
No, not one bit.
Patrick took it in stride.
I dig it. Come on in here, Brad Ryder. What are you doing?
Welcome.
All right. Good morning.
Hi. Get comfortable.
Okay.
All right, man. Good to talk to you again. Brad Ryder joining us again today. Randy Shaver got some time off. Brad, you've been doing a wonderful job. We can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Speaking of football, I'm not trying to get you all pumped right away. All of you, not just Brad. Speaking of football, I just read yesterday, men's and women's professional flag football could be coming to an NFL city near you.
Yeah, I hope we get a franchise or two.
You know, I just kind of caught wind of a little bit of this in the last month or so. The NFL is funding a lot of colleges' flag football teams, like women's. You know, they're trying to start women's flag football teams in colleges. The school that I work for, in fact, the little Division III school I work for, we're starting flag football this spring because the NFL is giving us money to do so.
Okay.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I know that this is a huge initiative. The NFL is trying to, kind of put some seed money into this at colleges and get it started.
Is the popularity waning a little bit? Because for a while it seemed like, my son's age and him growing up, it was huge. There were so many teams, and now it seems like there's less.
There's less, you think?
Yeah, at least in Egan, where before there was plenty of teams, and now it doesn't seem like it's as popular. So I didn't know. But then again, I've seen some former NFL players speak out on, hey, we need more tackle football players. So I wonder how popular this is and if there's going to be a market for this.
I think a lot of their focus right now is in starting women's flag football leagues early. Ultimately, down the road, a professional women's flag football league. I think that's where they're going with this, and they see that if they start planting the seeds and putting money into programs in college, obviously that's just going to make people want to play beyond college, and I'm pretty sure that's where their head is on this. They see an untapped market of fans. I mean, good grief, they have 95% of the fan base already, but they see an opportunity to grow the game a little bit with women, I think.
Flag football, that would be interesting. Now, why did kids suddenly start playing flag football in organized leagues? Was it because of all the concussions and parents don't want their... Okay.
And, part of it, too, for some parents is, like, for example, so my son does play football. He plays tackle football, and he has for a couple of years now. But before that, he played flag. And one of his coaches, who's also a high school football coach, he said, here's the thing. I believe I have this correct. If you get 3 concussions, you're done. They won't let you play organized sports.
Isn't that something?
It's probably good.
I mean, I guess I'm assuming it's for other sports too, but I can tell you specifically to football. That's what he told us. So I don't have any further information other than that. And Brad, you know a lot about this stuff.
Well, I was going to say that would deter a lot of younger kids from playing, period, because a lot of kids, don't focus on football when they're 11. They play other sports too, and that might scare them away because they're like, well, dang, if I get a couple of concussions, I can't play hockey anymore either, or baseball, or whatever sport it is.
Wow.
That probably would have helped my friend in high school that had 7 concussions by the time she was a sophomore.
Whoa. Well, what sport did she play?
A little bit of everything. She was kind of an all
So she had
athlete
7
kind of person.
concussions by the time she was what?
She was a sophomore in high school. I'm not sure where she's at now, but yeah, she ended up having to miss a chunk of high school because of it.
I'm checking texts here to see if people have more information, and people are saying it does seem to be dying off in their towns too. It's not as popular. For a while, it was crazy popular.
I remember when you first told me your son was playing flag football. I wondered why, and when did that become a thing? But again, it seems to be the concern might be waning a little bit. 10, 15 years ago, everyone wet their pants and said, oh, God, I'm pulling my kid out of every sport, when all that concussion research came forward. It's just interesting how times have changed, because when I was a 7th grade kid, if I would have told my buddies, I'm not going to play on our football team this year, I'm going to go play flag football, they would have given me a concussion with the beating. You know what I mean?
And I wondered if that was going to be the case too, but so many of them play, and some of them played both, that it wasn't.
It's
really
different
like
now.
Yeah,
it's more common knowledge that you can get hurt badly playing youth sports. So there you go. Flag football at a professional level. Oh, we'll see about that.
Yeah, SB Nation had a pretty interesting article on this yesterday that they wrote about. I didn't know they'd go professional. I mean, obviously they played in the Pro Bowl, right?
I would not.
Boy,
be
that brings in the big crowds when they played in the Pro Bowl.
I don't know. No disrespect to the athletes, but I don't know that I'd go watch one of those games.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, it's going to be in the Olympics in a couple of years.
Yeah, we won't be watching that either, Dana.
It wouldn't surprise me if there's a professional women's flag football league within 10 years.
There's a person.
Surprise me a bit.
I hear you, Brad Ryder.
There's a person here that wants to know, maybe it'd be more interesting, what are your thoughts on if instead of flags they just use nipple tassels?
Ooh. Nipple tassels.
Yeah, just some tassels.
That's how you tackle.
Instead of flags.
You pull the tassel off of the nipple.
Yep. It'd be easy because you could clearly see a nipple, so you know they're down. That's it.
Anyone here ever been in a plane crash?
Thank goodness
no.
No, I was scared one time that I was going to be, but no.
Oh, I was scared more than one time. Neither has this kid, but I believe a plane crash nearly landed on him. As we're heading towards the worst Super Bowl ever, we're reading more and more stories about, unique fans of the two ball clubs, the Philadelphia Eagles and whoever the other team is. Read a story yesterday about a 10-year-old kid by the name of Trey. Last Friday, a plane crash almost landed on his head. A plane crashed in Philadelphia. What they call here a medical transport jet crashed in North Philadelphia, where Josh was born and raised. Where, Josh, did you spend most of your days?
The playground.
On the play. This kid, I guess, is in a car, I think, with his dad and his siblings. 10-year-old kid, a plane crashes, and he took shrapnel to his noggin. And he ends up going to the emergency room. He's got to have brain surgery. The first thing, the kid's out cold for a couple days because he took plane crash shrapnel to his bean. And when he woke up from emergency brain surgery, he had 2 questions. Did he save his sister? And yes, he did. His sister was in the car with him. And did he miss the Super Bowl?
I love this kid.
He didn't know what day it was. What an unbelievable story. They were out to get donuts. The dad who was driving the car said it sounded like a missile or bullets being fired. There was metal landing on my car. Cars on fire. I saw a man walking that was on fire. It was crazy. And this was because a friggin' plane fell out the sky.
That whole story is so sad. And it's like never really thought so much about the shrapnel, how far it can go. There was a story about a guy that took one to the head who was in a restaurant like a block and a half away or something.
It's going 500 miles an hour and it comes to a stop. Things are going to keep going.
And yet you might be picturing while he's sitting by a window or something. No, he was like in the back of the restaurant.
Dude's just sitting there trying to enjoy his fajitas and you get smoked by some shrapnel?
Yeah.
If you see video of, and I have, video of how fast that plane was headed when it hit the ground, it's unbelievable.
Dude.
I mean, you can see how shrapnel. I mean, I don't even know if I want to say this. That was a big national story, so a lot of people heard about it, and people were finding body parts and stuff like that, too.
The details are so sad.
It's a terrible
thing.
thing.
Did you read much about it outside of this story?
This is the first I've heard of this.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Well, the story about the people on the plane is really sad. I think that's what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it.
So it was this girl that had some health issues. She's nursed back to health, and they have like a big going away party for her. She's going back to, I think, Mexico.
Yeah.
And, she's here for this treatment. All the nurses and doctors are so excited. Here you go. You're healthy enough to move back. And then this
They
tragedy.
put her on an airplane.
Yeah, this tragedy happened.
Well, son of a bitch. That's miserable. I did not know any of that.
Yeah.
This
She'd been
kid.
for months getting treatment and finally was well enough to go home. And,
Well, here's the happy news, I guess, with all that darkness. This 10-year-old kid who took that plane crash upside his head is going to make it. He's doing great. And I bet you someone sends him to the Super Bowl. Someone will step up and give him tickets to the Super Bowl, I bet. The kid said, I thought I died. Uh-oh, Cubby. Don't watch this video if it's out there. It says here, Philadelphia 76ers all-star point guard Tyrese Maxey already visited this kid in the hospital. That's a video that'll make Cubby tear up.
Yeah.
And the kid did get Super Bowl tickets.
He did?
He was on the Today Show, and Bradley Cooper brought them out.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, that's the same kid?
Yeah, it's the same kid.
I didn't put two and two together.
Here you go, Super Bowl. I'll see you there. Hello.
Okay, from one Eagles super fan, Bradley Cooper, to another. Bradley wanted to be here.
Can I have the Eagles too?
You got one too?
You want the other one? There's just one. Sure.
Bradley, you are so sweet.
No, thank you.
I know
This is
you're
awesome.
so touched. Declan is a pretty incredible boy, don't you think?
Whole family, clearly.
I didn't know that was the same kid. I'm a terrible reporter.
That is so sweet. Hi, Bradley.
It's a touching story. For example, this text said, I felt so bad for that kid until you mentioned he was an Eagles fan.
Oh! Hey, what was that remake that Bradley Cooper made a few years ago that Andrew Dice Clay starred in? The remake that he made. Everyone was talking about. He's singing songs.
Oh, Stars Born?
Does he
I didn't know Andrew Dice Clay
I didn't know Dice was in that.
I didn't watch the movie.
Never saw it, but I heard Andrew Dice Clay's in it. He's very good. Does Bradley Cooper realize that he's no longer shooting A Star is Born and he no longer has to look like an unwashed drunk?
I like that look he's got.
You like the unwashed drunk look?
Yeah, on him.
I saw him on that footage you were just playing. He looks terrible. Take a shower, for Christ's sake. All right. I don't know what else. I'll tell you what else is going on. Gross, Brad Ryder. Gross is the word that comes to mind when I think about seeing your buddy little Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry and Draymond Green playing together on the same basketball team.
Well, at least you went to a team that you already hate, so you can't, you know what I mean? You can't be conflicted.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's
a great silver lining, Brad.
Looking at the bright side. I already have enough hate for the Golden State Warriors. Just because little Jimmy's there now, it probably... I can't go any higher on that.
Yeah, just perpetuate that hate that you already have.
Yeah, you're not going to ruin another team.
The Miami Heat were finally able to find a sucker, and it's the Golden State Warriors, so they traded him on over that away. Andrew Wiggins, another one of your old buddies, is going to go to Miami. It's a 3-4 team deal.
Where he'll be reunited with the guy that he was traded for to get to the Timberwolves, Kevin Love.
Death from above, Kevin Love, right on that roster. Slow-mo, Kyle Anderson. I think he's going to end up in Toronto, but I'm not sure. And then this and that, and Dennis Schroeder, and nobody cares, and the Utah Jazz, and nobody cares. The big deal is Jimmy Butler going to play for the friggin' Warriors. And it's not a rental type of a situation. They signed him up to a 2-year deal. And he's 35 years old.
2 years, $121 million.
Is this going to be a disaster?
Probably. I think so.
Yeah, well...
Doesn't it seem like there's very little interest for the guy? At least there's plenty of articles speculating that was...
I might have been reading into this too much, but I watched a little bit of Steve Kerr's press conference after the game, and it might have been because they blew a 10-point lead with 3 minutes to go. That might have been part of why he looked down, but he didn't look terribly excited about this.
Because he knows now he's going to have to put in a real day's work. He's got this prima donna douchebag. He's going to be crying up and down the locker room.
It's not like they're like second or third in the West, though. They're 11th. I mean, they're a 500 team. So, even if this helps a little bit, I mean, how much does it really help them?
Yeah, it's interesting. And I like Steve Kerr. I do. I hate the team that he's employed by. But, yeah, he knows he's got a headache on the way. And what I read is that Jimmy Bottles wasn't the Warriors' first choice. They really wanted the Durantula back there, but he said no.
He said no, yeah.
He said, I don't want to.
The original trade that they were proposing yesterday was a 3-team deal where Butler would have ended up in Phoenix and Durant would have ended up in Golden State, but Durant didn't want to go there.
No, he did not.
Brad, for the other big trade, the Luka trade, which everyone's still talking about, there's a question.
Garza? That's a callback to a joke from a couple of days ago. Yes.
So as a PR genius who's worked for many sports teams over the years, a.k.a. a spin master, NBA Jesus wants to know, how do you think the Mavericks PR team is handling that trade?
Oh, my gosh.
Fans? Well or no?
Well, there's not, I mean, as a PR staff, there's not really a whole lot you can do when the entire fan base is burning things and wheeling coffins outside the arena. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do other than ride it out.
Do you think for the situation they're in, they're doing an okay job?
Yeah. I don't know what people expect they're supposed to do when that many people are against the trade, I mean, you can't just start spitting out positive stats and figures on Anthony Davis. I mean, that's not going to do you any good. You got to win some games.
Yeah, just tweeting about Dollar Dog Night being next Wednesday probably isn't. That's probably not going to cut it.
That's not going to do it.
What do they call that, Dana? Ratioed?
Yep.
You tweet out something, they're going to just come back at you.
They just tee off on you.
So, what about the refunding season tickets? How uncommon is that? Where season ticket holders
just read something about that. I don't know the details on that. Are they actually doing that?
Yes, they've made that offer.
Wow, that's unprecedented.
So it is. Okay, I was wondering if there's other examples that I just.
Boy. I mean, your season ticket base and the money you bring in from that's like your, that's your base for revenue. And if you're starting to do that, boy, I've never heard of that before.
I'm starting to believe these conspiracy theories about the owners wanting to move the team to Vegas.
Yeah, it's hard not to when you hear about that. I mean, if that's really what they're doing, wow. Not to jump ahead, but the Lakers made another trade yesterday, and a lot of people probably don't know about this guy. The other day I was saying I didn't think the Lakers were going to be all that good this year because they lost their, middle presence. They lost with Davis. They lost a guy. They traded for a guy named Mark Williams yesterday, and I don't know if you know anything about him. He's a really, really good player. He averages a double-double with Charlotte. He's young. I mean, he's only 23. Now I think the Lakers are actually going to be a force. I changed my mind after this trade that they did yesterday.
You son of a bitch! You think?
I think they're going to be a real problem in the playoffs.
Well, yeah.
Doncic is healthy.
Dinkus Doncic will make his debut Saturday afternoon game on ESPN against the Indiana Pacers. So he's ready to play again, coming off that calf strain that was caused by his excessive chubbiness, according to some people.
So bogus.
Anthony Edwards scored 49 points last night, 20 in the third quarter alone. The Wolves had a great second half and pretty much curb stomped the Chicago Bulls there at Target Center.
Did you watch
back out there on the floor? His team did him proud while he was on the bench to start this fourth quarter. He froze the defense, laid it up and in, plus the foul.
Michael Grady on the call. Yes, Brad Ryder?
Did you watch the last 2 or 3 minutes of that game?
Yes.
How hard were they trying to get him 50?
It was bothering me. It was bothering me.
They finally threw in the towel and took him out with about a minute to go. But yeah,
he was putting up stupid shots all over the court, trying to hit 50 for the third time in his career, I think. The Wolves made 9 3-point baskets just in the first quarter, so they were cooking. Up next, they're right back at it, playing Houston at home tonight, and Houston usually kicks their ass. Julius Randle, another couple of weeks. It's going to be another couple of weeks before you can even think about the return of Julius Randle. And the trade deadline is today.
Yeah.
So. Back to Doncic, and on the topic of the Timber. Wow. Anthony Edwards says he's buying front row tickets to the Lakers versus Mavericks game the next time those two teams play in Dallas.
I'm excited to see the first time the Lakers play Dallas in Dallas. I'm super excited to see that. Oh, my God. It's in a few weeks. If we not playing, I'm buying front row tickets to that.
Front row tickets to that bitch, he says.
That'd be fun to see.
Looks like April 9th. That'll happen.
Yes, and the Timberwolves do have a day off on the April 9th. The Timberwolves do have a day off on April 9th. So we'll see if Edwards really means this. He says that he'll be front row when the Lakers play Dallas in Dallas.
That feels like it might be one of the last games of the season if it's April 9th.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'll mean anything.
And if he does go to this game and get courtside, I bet he's going to be very entertaining to watch.
Absolutely.
I mean, the Lakers right now are 5th, but I think they're going to go up based on what I just said. I think they're going to, be a 2nd or 3rd seed, and the Mavericks are number 8 right now, so they could play. They could play in the playoffs.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Has an NBA player ever gone to a game as a fan, like an active NBA player?
Well, I remember one from just a couple of years ago, and it was very funny. Which one of the Lopez twins, what's your name again, Brad Ryder?
Oh, yeah. Brooke and Robin are the Lopez.
Robin.
Yeah.
Brooke is the guy who still is a prominent player for the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Brooke. Mm-hmm. Robin is the one who's always been kind of second best. If you remember this, a couple years ago, I believe Robin was also a member of the Milwaukee Bucks with his brother, but he was disgruntled somehow by his role on the team. And it was right here at Target Center where he sat front row and read a book.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this was a joke or a real show of defiance, but he sat there, never looked at the court. He was paging through a novel.
Yeah,
That's the one
that
example I can remember, Dana. And it was very funny.
It was.
I mean, his teammates, his coach, the referees are all, you know how they're parading up and down the sideline. He never laid eyes on any of them.
He's even at the scorer's table.
He had good seats. He had good seats. All right, the Twins
and AJ Brown was sitting next to him reading another book.
Yeah.
Something inspirational.
Yeah.
The Twins added an outfielder. They're finally starting to wake up a little bit here as far as free agency goes. They signed a kid named Harrison Bader. He's a terrific outfielder. Won a Gold Glove a couple years ago. I imagine he will spell Byron Buxton and whoever else in the outfield. But his position is center field. Bader's played with the Cardinals. He has a decent bat, so there you go. A nice little insurance policy, I guess. Ashley, I know you're heartbroken since the strudel took off for Philadelphia.
Yep.
Because he made you feel all funny.
Yeah, that's
deep
rough.
down. Have you taken a look? I'm just guessing here. Have you taken a look at Harrison Bader?
No, I haven't.
Maybe he'll take a little of that sting away because he's kind of a cute character. And
Let's see.
I was just trying to look up his stats. Apparently his nickname is Tots.
Pops?
Tot. T-O-T-S.
Tot. Well, I thought his nickname would be Master, but anyway.
I'm sure he's heard that plenty of times.
The nickname, explain the nickname of Tot.
I have no idea. I'm reading it right now. Tots.
Maybe he likes tater tots.
He's cute, but he's no Max Kepler.
I didn't mean to make a direct comparison, but does his good looks do anything to take the pain away?
Sadly, no.
Okay.
She's still hurt.
The Miami Marlins in the city of Miami are being sued by a fan because that fan allegedly slipped on dog urine during their bark at the park event, and this individual hurt themselves slipping on dog urine.
Oh my gosh, you're going to ruin it for everybody else.
Come on.
Watch where you're walking.
And this individual, Brad Ryder, wants $50,000 for the injury he sustained while slipping in a puddle of dog piss.
That ain't happening because when you agree to buy the ticket, you agree to all of that stuff. Like you agree to if something happens like that, yeah.
Right.
You ain't getting anything.
They make you sign a waiver, don't they, Brad Ryder?
Yep, they got all that stuff on the back of your ticket in fine print that you can't read, and I think that covers that.
This guy wants money.
Bader got his nickname because someone on his team in high school said, "Give me a side of Bader tots instead of tater tots."
And when he
That's
was
so lit.
Oh, you don't like that one?
No, that could be way cooler.
Bader tots.
They had a promotion in St. Louis at the Sonics. All the Sonic restaurants there had Bader tots.
That's good.
All right, if he somehow gets me some free tots, I'd be pretty
Well, I mean,
why does he have to win your approval?
They're loaded.
Go ahead and fill in the blanks here, Josh. What route are we going to take here if he becomes a popular twin?
I'm sure they'll do Bader tots.
Bader tot hot dish.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's topped with chili, cheese, ranch, diced onions, and jalapenos.
Orida should get on that. Get a endorsement with him.
Well, just wait to see if he sucks or not before.
Right.
O'Reilly's going to wait to see how he does before they sign him to a lucrative.
He hit 236 last year, so let's hold off a little bit.
Now this individual stepped in some piss and slipped and hurt himself allegedly at the Marlins Bark in the Park event. Wants $50,000. The alleged suspect dog from the night in question has yet to come forward and admit that they went potty.
They can DNA test for that if they want.
That's ridiculous.
You know, some apartment buildings will do that.
Oh, yeah, they do that now.
Do that.
Yeah, that was bad.
Imagine being the one in charge of that. Your life is just miserable.
This will be the dumbest thing you hear all day long, but many years ago, me and my sister, I know, was there, and maybe even my friggin' first wife. We stopped by one of those pet stores where you can bring your dog into the sumbitch. You know what I'm talking about, Josh?
Yep. PetSmart, whatever.
Whatever.
Yep.
We had a dog. We had our dog on a leash, and right there in the middle of the store was this massive lake of dog urine. A mastiff or something must have unleashed the fury, and it was a pond of urine. And we just sat there laughing, and then some dude walked by and just cursed splash, stepped right in it. It splashed up onto his pants. We were having the time of our lives. We even made up a song. You want to hear the song, Josh?
Of course I do.
Piss stepper, step in and piss.
Nice.
That was the opening line. The rest I don't remember. But we called that guy Piss Stepper for the rest. You had to be there. Our next guest is always entertaining. And I imagine he's going to be in an even better mood than usual because in a few days, he's going on vacation. Wild forward Marcus Foligno is on the telephone. What's up, man?
How you guys doing?
We're doing great. We were just talking about how, you got a couple games to play, of course, and we want to see some wins for Pete's sake. But then come Saturday, you're off the hook for a while.
Yeah, I am gone south.
You're going to go? Where are you going to go? Because you got this tournament now, the Four Seasons. What the hell do they call this tournament?
That sounds good enough for me. Yeah, the Four Seasons.
No, that's where you're going. You're going to the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
We're going to Puerto Vallarta for 5 days, the wife and I. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be good.
Dude, that's nice. Laid out on the beach, you got a cold one in your hand. Oh, that sounds nice.
No kids?
No kids. No kids. It's even better.
Wow.
I love my kids, but gosh, do I love 5 days without them too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. A good meal and
I think it's more for the wife's mentals more than mine. So it'll be good. We're going with my brother and his wife, so it'll be a fun time to reconnect with them.
Well, that all sounds wonderful, Marcus. How you doing the last couple of weeks?
Doing good. Just just grinding. Just getting through this tough days of the season, but everything's been going well. I mean, we'd like to obviously be a little more consistent, but on the ice. But you know what? That's just how it goes right now. We got some healthy bodies back now, so hopefully we get get 2 big wins at home before the break, where everyone can get a kind of a mental reset and realize that when we come back from the break, it's a sprint. So that's kind of the exciting part of it. When you come back from the break, it's break's almost perfect timing.
Yeah, I've tried that mental reset before. I fail every time. I try to reset things.
You just stay in vacation mode, huh?
Yeah, I'd love to be.
It's a tough thing to break out of, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I hear you. Marcus Foligno, let's rap about some of what's been going on with your club here now lately. Ryan Hartman's been a big story. So
No, what did he do? He didn't do nothing.
It was very subtle what Ryan did the other night. Very subtle, right?
Yeah, you know what? I'll always have my teammates back. I don't think it. Obviously, everybody's gonna say you're biased or what have you, but I don't think it's worth a 10 game. I think obviously due to Brian Hartman's track record, it's unfortunate, but it's tough to see him out for that many games because we need him.
Yeah, okay. He gives this kid a sidewalk sandwich a few nights ago. He's been hammered with a 10-game suspension. Now, the Players Association has handed in an appeal. So how does that all work, Marcus?
So what happens there is the AHL Players Association comes to your vet and just kind of goes to the league now. So it's the players versus, Gary Bettman now. And they do whatever it takes, kind of like a little bit of a rebuttal and try to knock down the 10 games a little bit less. Obviously, it helps you financially as a player that's in that position to make up a couple games. But maybe there's a chance that you can get it knocked down a couple games just to help out, obviously not being out that long and not losing that much money.
Yeah, I mean, it's none of our business, but the dollar amount that we read that Ryan Hartman stands to lose from this suspension is massive and significant. So are you not the representative for your club?
I am, yeah.
So have you been on the telephone with these people? That's your job?
No, lucky for Hartsey, I'm not on the telephone.
Lucky for him.
That's a good thing. But no, this gets to like the Marty Walsh, our director of the Players Association, guys like that'll handle these suspension type things. So all the analytics and stuff that get put into it, the video replay, everything gets broken down, and they do their best case to bring enough evidence that says, hey, you guys went over the line with how many games you gave them. Can we knock it back a few? So that's how it works, and that's why I think we have a union in the first place to help protect the players.
So how do you like his chances of catching a break?
I mean, honestly, my honest opinion, I thought all the guys in the room, we thought it was going to be maybe 3-4 games. Like, I think if it was a cleaner track record, it probably would have been.
Yeah.
This is obviously a message, and it sucks because it feels like it's a little bit of a message being sent, and you're realizing that, the league's kind of taking away some dollar amounts from a player that, just to send a message, I get it. But when you look at the actual play, that's all you have to focus on. And I think I would like to see it get knocked down at least 3 games, like 3-4 games. I think that's a win for Hartsey if he can do it because, that can salvage some money and then get them back earlier.
Of course, a lot of our listeners are going along the lines of this old joke that we've been telling on and off with you this year, Marcus. They're saying that Hartsey is out of the running for the Lady Bing. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, and there's no one can argue that he's going to get that thing.
No Lady Bing for Hartsey. Have you ever been suspended, Marcus?
I was earlier this year. I was on pace. I had no fights in the first 20 games. And then I rattled off 5 and 6. So then that's the end of it.
That's the end of your chances at the Lady Bing, you're saying?
Yeah. I think once you get a couple penalties, you're out of it. You're out of the running.
But what about suspensions?
If you swear at a couple referees, if you talk back to a couple referees, and they jot your name down, and then you're out of it. They take your name out of it.
Have you ever faced a suspension, Marcus Foligno?
I have. I got suspended 3 games a couple years back now.
What did you do?
I fought Adam Lowry off the Jets, and then I proceeded not to stop when we went to the ground, and I ended up kneeing him. They said I kneed him in the chest area, but you know what? It's just when you get to the ground, it's like MMA sometimes, right? You don't know what you're doing. So.
I remember that now,
and it didn't go so well, so I got 3 games for that.
I remember you dumped a knee on the guy, yeah.
Yeah, you were just getting up, and his face happened to be the way of your knee.
That's exactly it. It just seemed a lot easier if I just used him to get up faster.
Oh, that was a 3-gamer, huh? Well, what did you do? Did you celebrate? Did you go out and have get a hangover or something? Did you do something that you wouldn't normally be able to do during the regular season?
No, no. There's nothing you can do. You feel like crap, to be honest with you. You feel like you feel like your dad's disciplining you, and you can't go with your buddies for a couple of games. So it's a tough feeling. The best part about that is I got suspended for 3 games, and my next game back was against Winnipeg. So it's funny how it all works out. But
right up against the same team.
I think they probably thought I had a couple loose screws after that one, so they didn't want to touch me. And then that's how it works. You get the worst part about it is you get skated. They make you work out harder. So when you're not playing, you get bag skated and you're miserable a little bit. So.
You can't just stay at home and watch YouTube and whatnot.
No, you can't just hang out at the local bar. You gotta go into work.
You know, Marcus Foligno, you're not the only bad boy on the air this morning. I was once suspended, wasn't I, Josh?
You were.
That's right. What was it, a week or 2?
It was 2 weeks.
I got suspended for 2 weeks, Marcus Foligno, because something I said on the freaking stupid radio show.
It was so stupid.
I was going to say, I'm like, you get suspended from school or from the radio station?
It's from the radio station. This is a long time ago.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that cool?
That's pretty badass.
Hey. You got to sometimes you got to get your rep up a little bit, let people keep people on their toes when they're around you.
That's right.
Hey, do you remember some of the rules they had when you got suspended?
Well, here, first off, one of the rules was I wasn't allowed to contact by telephone or otherwise anyone else from the radio station.
Yeah.
20 minutes after the suspension, Josh calls me.
Yeah, they told me the same thing. They're like, you cannot talk to him at all for 2 weeks.
We talked every day.
Man.
There's no way. We talk every day. I'm not going to not talk to him for 2 weeks. And it was so dumb.
It was really weak. It was weak. And I 2 weeks without pay.
Yeah, no pay. And
oh, wow.
It wasn't just you. They got a few people for something you had said. And it was so minor. It was a funny joke.
Yeah, it was dumb.
I should have been suspended, too, because before, go ahead, I'm sorry.
When you came back to the radio station, were you a little bit scared to say stuff again?
No, it really didn't have much of an effect on me. Like Josh is saying, it was such a weak attempt at discipline or whatever you might say that it didn't really bother us too much. And I did miss the 2 weeks worth of paychecks. That sucked to be without that. But what can you do? But you're not the only tough guy around here, Marcus Foligno.
Oh, you're that.
That's right.
Jeez.
Now, would you want to?
Like what if we would make fun of the referees after the game or something? We get suspended or fined. That's what you did. So
yeah. Now, were you recently part of this poll? Maybe you don't want to say. I'm not sure, but a website called The Athletic released its NHL player poll yesterday. They asked 111 anonymous players their takes on a number of subjects about life as an NHL player. You can tell us, or you can keep it a secret if you like. Did you contribute to this poll?
I may have or may not have.
Okay. So this is all they asked.
I love those polls. Those polls are anonymous polls. You're like, yeah, give me any question you want. Just don't say my name.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be kind of fun when they ask you things like this. Okay.
Do you get nervous that it's not so anonymous? For example, we get something like that every year here about the company. Your thoughts on your boss, your thoughts on that.
We do?
Yeah, we do. You didn't know that?
We do.
I'm brutally honest on that.
I might be facing another suspension.
I'm sorry, what, Ashley?
I'm brutally honest on that.
Oh,
so
I'm never honest on that.
I'm too afraid.
No.
Hopefully it is anonymous. Yeah, I'm pretty honest.
I always wonder how anonymous these anonymous surveys really are.
I think you have to log into your work or to your work account.
You do.
To take it too. So it seems a little sketch.
Yeah.
Well, Marcus,
it's funny, they'll do like a player from the Central Division, so they'll just knock it down to like the 6 teams but you have a good idea of who it could be.
Right. Now let's roll through some of this. Some of the questions that were asked NHL players, and then they anonymously responded. They asked you which team would rank number 1 on their no-trade list, and the answer was the Winnipeg Jets. So that means nobody wants to go play for Winnipeg?
I mean, it's just it's a tough place to want to free agent if you have family and stuff like that. That's all. It's a very tough. I love going there and playing a back-to-back. Let's put it that way.
Right, but you wouldn't want to live there.
Out.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's not much to do. There's no it's just the downtown is blah, and I don't know.
No, I understand.
The hockey side of it, I mean, you probably want to play there, but when it comes to the whole daily living there 24/7, I think it might be better for a guy without family or whatever, what have you.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, I've heard that it's not the most exciting city in the world. So a lot of players said they didn't want to go play in Winnipeg. The coach they'd like to play for, other than their own, Tampa Bay Lightning's coach John Cooper. The coach that nobody wanted to play for, John Tortorella of the Philadelphia Flyers.
I don't think John Tortorella is a very serious coach behind the bench in games, but I think it's all due to his training camp.
He's very rough during training camp?
Training camp, yeah. I think he makes you skate 3 miles on the ice timed, and then he also makes you run 3 miles on a track.
Oh, gross.
Wow. Or it's either a 2 mile run or it's a 3 mile. I think it's a 2 mile run. And I think you got to be in under 12 minutes. So it's a 6-minute mile.
Oh, wow.
As a hockey player, there's some big guys trying to become runners now. So,
dude. Okay, yeah, I've heard.
It's a crazy training camp, and it's intense. And I think guys just say, why this now? Why don't we just save it for the hockey games that actually matters? So,
all right.
I think it's a training camp that kills torts.
All right, now the favorite facilities went to the Detroit Red Wings, the Seattle Kraken, and the Edmonton Oilers, the best overall facilities kind of a thing. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, like their rooms are nicer than our home rink rooms. Like the dress room is very, very nice and big, and then like medical rooms even on that side, the workout rooms. Yeah, like the how cleanliness the dress rooms are, how cool it is to play in the rinks. Detroit really, I think it's probably too nice for an away dress room. Like, I don't know why these guys make it so nice for the opposing players to come in and enjoy it. I would make it as miserable as possible in there.
Yeah, the tradition used to be that the visitors' room was garbage, and they'd paint it pink or something, and they would turn the heat all the way up to drive everyone nuts. But now,
exactly, yeah,
there's some beautiful
old school stories you hear. Like, the heat's a big one. You come back in after the period, and you're dying of exhaustion, and you got the heat cranked up.
Oh, that sucks. I'd love to be the guy in charge of that thermostat, though. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? The other club just crank it up to 90, make them miserable. You can tell that it wasn't maybe a big hockey fan that wrote this article, because it says here the Carolina Panthers have the worst facility. Hell, they're not even an NHL franchise. They meant to say Carolina Hurricanes. But players say the Carolina Hurricanes joint just sucks eggs. Not a nice facility.
Yeah, it's got low ceilings. It's like 2 split rooms. So when the coaches come in to do a meeting, kind of like look in both rooms. It's terrible.
Who's talking?
And then you gotta to the workout room. There's like this wind tunnel in there. It's like crazy. Like to come out to the ice, there's like this big. It feels like there's a blast of wind coming at you. But it's just probably the cranked up AC in that place, and it's just you got to skate across the ice to get to your bench. It's old school.
And finally, the idea of an in-season tournament like what the NBA does, 54% of players were against it. They called it gimmicky and corny to have an in-season tournament. Well, you're having something similar, this season, a little different, but what do you think about, maybe you don't pay attention to what the NBA does. They have like a little...
No, I've seen it. It's tough when it's like the club teams. Like I get it with the countries. We're doing it now with the Four Nations Cup coming out in like a couple of days. But I just find like we play for the Stanley Cup, so it's like it's tough to turn something on that like kind of resembles that, but it's not that. So it's just to me the season's so long already, and it's such a grind. To add something to give more incentive, like I don't know, it just seems a little bit corny. Is maybe a good word for it, but and then what have you is injuries and stuff like that can come from it because guys are playing for this thing where really everyone's goal in the league is to win the Stanley Cup, so they're prepared for the playoffs. So
I understand. Understand completely. Marcus, we got to
I think it was a split decision, right? Like some guys were on that didn't mind it, some guys liked it.
Yeah. It was just slightly more players were against it than for it from that poll of NHL players.
Right.
So maybe you'll see it someday. Maybe you don't. We appreciate your honesty. We should poll you on some more subjects in the future, Marcus Foligno.
Just keep me anonymous, and we'll be good.
Yeah. The very anonymous Marcus Foligno on our program. Good luck tonight against Carolina, and have fun on vacation.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
See you, Marcus. You have a good day, too. Hey, Brad Ryder, we'll talk to you tomorrow, son.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks very much. Coming up next, feel free to text us, 651-989-9393, if you have any questions about your dog or cat, because our veterinarian friend, Dr. Andrea Johnston, is next. We'll field your questions when we come back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
Promo.
On 93X.
We're all dialed in now, Cubby. It's 8:30. Our next guest is here to help you and your wonderful house pets live a happier, healthier life. She comes from Gehrman Animal Hospital in Minnetonka. Go ahead and text us, 651-989-9393, if you have a question about your pet. Hello, Dr. Andrea Johnston.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for your time again.
Of course.
It's wonderful to have you back.
How are the roads?
They're fine.
Not too bad?
It's a little windy and cold, but
That's about it.
Oh, it's windy, it's cold, it's February. We're miserable, each and every last damn one of us. A lot of questions have come in already. Folks wondering about this and that concerning their dogs and cats. Any cool news stories from the animal hospital? I think the last time you came in, you had, what was it that you found in the guts of a dog?
The tampons.
Tampons.
Yeah, the 24 tampons.
24 of them.
That's got to be a record.
Yeah. Yeah, that dog's doing great.
Good.
Back to eating, and hopefully they put a lid on that.
I bet they did.
Get yourself a hazardous waste bucket or something for the kitchen. Well, no, wait a minute. You wouldn't be tamponing yourself in the kitchen. The bathroom is probably where. Dr. Andrea, my 8-year-old dog is on Prozac for anxiety and aggression. Is this something I can wean her off of? She's been on medication for about 3 years. The blood work and pills are getting expensive. Weaning your dog off of drugs.
Yeah. Prozac is like one of my favorite drugs. They call me the Prozac queen at work because I prescribe it quite a bit, especially after COVID, just because so many dogs needed it when people went back to work.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you can wean it
The
off.
Prozac queen.
I love it. It works. It works.
A dog can get over its dependence on Prozac.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really see the withdrawal that we see in people because they can't tell us. They feel shaky or odd. But usually I say just taper it down to every other day for a couple weeks.
Okay.
And then you can discontinue it.
Taper it down for a couple. You never see a dog come in just wide-eyed as all hell and like, oh, this one's jonesing for some Prozac over here.
But I will say people stop it because they think their dog's behavior has improved, and then they stop it and they're like, oh, it was working.
Isn't it the same with people?
Yes,
I thought I've heard the same.
Yes,
where they go, well, I'm fine now.
They think it's a fix and it's a cure, but it just helps maintain their behavior.
So now we know where to go when we want to get really wasted. You know what I'm talking about?
The Prozac queen.
Prozac.
So a person here has a Cavalier, ate a bunch of stuffing right out of a pillow. Will he poop it out?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That is a gamble. You never know. So sometimes they can pass 5 tube socks and they're fine. Sometimes they get stuck with like a little, bottle cap. So you never know if the dog stops eating, it's not passing stool, it eats and vomits, or is lethargic. Yeah, you should probably take some x-rays.
Will he poop it out, huh?
You never know.
It's a roll of the dice.
Exactly.
They're cute little bastards, aren't they? Those King Charles Cavaliers.
They're so sweet.
Not as cute as my Gertie.
Definitely not.
But pretty damn cute. How about a problem with a kitty? Listener says we have a cat with dual rear luxating patellas. Can you tell us what that is, Dr. Andrew?
Yeah, so the kneecap pops in and out.
Like my grandpa's.
Yeah, and so unfortunately, like they walk or they can jump off something and that kneecap pops out. And then it can slide back in. There's different grades of it, but some dogs need surgery to deepen that trochlear groove to keep that kneecap in place.
And that's what they're asking about.
I should say dogs. Cats, it's rare, but we do see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dual rear luxating patellas. The surgery is expensive. Are there any places that can help with that? I don't want to put her down. She's young and full of life.
Well, I guess if it's pretty severe and she's not using her back legs, that would warrant surgery. But they can live with medical management and not have surgery. So it just depends on how bad it is.
What about a cat with a couple of wheels on the back?
So cute.
There's that too.
Yeah.
There's that option. I mean, it's kind of.
Speaking of knees, my buddy's dog, a big Bernese Mountain Dog, he tore his ACL, got the surgery, got all healed up, and then just popped the other one now. Is that pretty common?
Yeah, a lot of dogs will come in with them both torn, and then the day of, we decide which one's worse. Yeah, it's very common. 60 to 70% of dogs that tear one tear the other.
There goes his chances come free agency. I'll tell you that.
That sucks.
Can I give a dog popcorn? Asks excited like an antenna dong, Jesus.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, me too. I'm nervous.
Giving a dog popcorn.
Totally fine, you say?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, everything in moderation, right? They can process it just like people. Maybe the seeds, not so much.
Yeah, but the poor dog's probably not going to be able to get his paw up into his mouth to tear that,
Right.
Yeah,
the kernel.
I've never thought of that.
Isn't that frustrating?
That's irritating sometimes, isn't it?
is.
I eat it every day. That happens to me.
Yeah.
And we get this question so often. I hope you don't mind answering it because I know you answer it every time you're here.
No.
But even when you're not here, we get this question. The dental chews for dogs, the ones you recommend.
Yes. The Verbac CET enzymatic dental chews.
You say that one more time?
Verbac is the brand, VIRBAC. And then it's CET enzymatic dental chews.
Yeah, I mentioned before, once you brought it up, we got it for our dogs. They work, and they go nuts for them.
I know.
One of my dogs is going to
here.
die because he eats himself. Oh, which reminds me, we learned earlier this week that of the 10 things everyone should know how to do, one of them is give CPR to a dog.
Oh, no, it was Heimlich maneuver.
I'm sorry, yes, a Heimlich maneuver to a dog.
Really?
Your thoughts?
I don't see many choking dogs.
That's what we
That's the exact point we made.
They have a pretty strong reflex and protective mechanism back there. We do learn CPR for dogs.
Okay.
Wow.
That is a thing. We do it annually to keep up on it.
Okay.
That's gotta
If
be
I ever
sad.
had to do the Heimlich, I would do it from the side just for any implications that might be made if somebody saw me. That'd be my fear. Do you know how to do a Heimlich? I mean, is that something
typically if it's stuck, I'm going first thing into the oral cavity to look for whatever is obstructing.
Okay.
Because think about it, their anatomy is a little different than ours. They have that longer airway that you can get your hand back there versus people.
Yeah.
But no, I have never done the Heimlich remover.
Heimlich maneuver on a dog, and it was just really odd that it fell into 10 things that everyone should know how to do, and I had never heard of the Heimlich maneuver for a dog.
I wonder if they messed it up like I just did, if they meant CPR. I wonder if they meant that. Because, the Heimlich maneuver, it seems so weird.
No, because they had like a whole picture, like they showed you exactly how to do that.
They had a
like,
graph.
I just saw the article. I didn't see the picture.
CPR for dogs.
Is that the same as humans? Would it be like, I guess, like the same tempo to the song
Yes,
Staying Alive?
Staying Alive. There's like a whole list of songs that you can look up for CPR. But yes, CPR in dogs differs based on the breed.
Based on the breed.
A deep-chested versus a pug versus a terrier or something like Gertie's size. I mean,
She's
a
just
6-pound dog or
tiny
so.
little puppy, Josh. She's so cute.
That is cute.
She's a little Yorkie.
You don't give like mouth to snout, do you? It's just the compressions, because my dog's very zitty right now.
You can.
Zitty.
But
it's gross.
You can, but typically we have the tools to intubate, and use oxygen and use a bag while we're doing CPR.
Oh, gotcha.
That's fascinating. It really, really is. And let me ask you just the most basic of question here, but it's still something that throws me. When you feel a dog's heartbeat, it's so irregular. At least that's the way it feels to me.
Well, sometimes they can have a respiratory sinus arrhythmia, so when they breathe, their heart rate changes.
Am I the only one who thinks that when you feel a dog's heartbeat, it doesn't feel as regular as a person? Or maybe this is
I haven't noticed
This
it.
is the Prozac talking.
My dogs are pretty chill.
Never really noticed it.
I will say this, the smaller the dog, the faster the heartbeat.
Yeah.
So maybe hers is just really fast.
Okay.
And that's why it feels irregular.
Well, maybe she's on the way out. I don't know. I'm just saying it. And actually, I'm not referencing my current dog. I'm referencing past dogs. It always felt like it was kind of a like not a boom, 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 boom. But again, I'm not a vet. That's why I don't work with Dr. Andrea over at Gehrman Animal. Because I don't know what I'm talking about.
What you just reminded me of is that phone call you made a long time ago where you were trying to describe the song to the guy, and he never got it.
The song, you guys, do you know the song?
I do,
It's
but...
boom, 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 yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
What was the name of that song?
The guy didn't tell you.
Do you want me to say it again?
Say it again.
Boom, 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 yeah, yeah.
Yay.
And the guy never gave me an answer. Dr. Andrea's totally confused right now.
At this point, that's a 20-some-year-old reference.
We're speaking with Dr. Andrea Johnston from Gehrman Animal Hospital. 651-989-9393 is the number to text if you've got a question about your pet. Now, here's a cat who feels the need to remove all the litter from his box. And they want to know what the hell that's all about. That would piss me off.
Yeah.
Because I love my cat, I do. But I'm so tired of vacuuming up litter that I'm going to flip out. He kicks it all over the friggin' place.
Disrespectful.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like an empty net goal.
I'm assuming that the cat is probably doing it after it poops or pees to hide it, and it's just a little messier.
Okay, so this is just over-exuberance, maybe?
That's my guess. You could get a covered litter box or an automatic cleaning litter box.
Okay.
That might help.
This guy or girl makes it sound like he removes all of it, like he's not happy until the litter box is empty. I don't know.
I mean, you could just do a litter box without litter and see what happens. We'll do that when we're trying to collect urine at the clinic. We just take out all the litter so we can get urine without contaminant of the litter.
Cats will tolerate that? They don't.
Some will. Some will urinate outside of the box, and then that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, because, the one I've got, he really parties with that litter. I mean, he enjoys the hell out of it.
I switched to the pellets for kitty litter, and that helped a lot.
I use charcoal briquettes.
Oh, man.
It's a new one.
Okay. We have a dog here. It sounds like there's some problems with the pooping. It does. A 20-pound female cockaleer? Is that a half?
Cocker Spaniel Cavalier.
Wow.
Is my guess.
A cockaleer. Walk proud, puppy. Walk proud.
Hell yeah.
It yelps and turns its head towards its butt when it's pooping.
Oh, no. Does it have hemorrhoids or something?
Can dogs get hemorrhoids?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Just not as much as people do, but
He or she, I guess, I'm not sure, turns its head towards its butt and yelps when it cuts a deuce. Still eating and drinking and everything. Looks like it's painful. I'm feeding her pumpkin to possibly help with constipation. Any thoughts on this?
Well, so yes, number one, constipation. If the stool's really dry, it could be painful.
Oh, boy.
It's possible there's like a little rectal fissure or tear there that opens up when the dog poops. I'd get the anal glands checked out because maybe they're infected or irritated. And then lastly, sometimes dogs with back issues, when they position, it hurts if they're in that position for a period of time. So I check out the back, too.
I feel so stupid about that heartbeat question. I do.
Well, it was just your experience.
I thought it was. I don't know what happened.
You wouldn't believe the questions I get. That's not one.
Give us a good one.
Yeah, is there one that was really, really stupid?
Oh, gosh. When I was an intern, I had a gentleman, or his dog had an ear infection, and he was putting the pills in the ear.
No, he wasn't.
Are you serious?
No,
oh my God.
you
Like
shouldn't own pets at that point. No more pets for you.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's awesome.
There you go. Hold still there. What was his dog's name, Josh? Poo-poo butt. Hold still there. I'm going to treat this ear infection. Just dumping pills in there. Like
These pills aren't working.
That poor dog.
Poor poo-poo butt.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I don't know if we've ever been asked this type of question. There's a person here that would like to get a dog, but they have a 10-hour workday.
Ugh.
What do you think? They want to know, is that unfair?
So interestingly enough, I had a conversation with a client yesterday because he was afraid to leave his dog home for 2.5 hours. COVID changed this. People were leaving their dogs at home for 8-10 hours a day when they were working. And then COVID happened and everyone feels like they need to stay home with their dogs or check on the dog every 2 to 3 hours. No, it's okay to leave that dog. Teaches it some independence. And honestly, they're okay with it. It minimizes separation anxiety. Yeah, when you get the puppy, you might need to come home over lunch and let it out. But
10 hours doesn't.
No, I mean, that's fine.
You're right. I mean, that used to be regular life.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's the opposite, where these dogs are anxious when people go to the grocery store.
Christ, when I was single, there's many times I'm sure my dog was sure that I was dead.
100%.
He lost a lot of dogs during that time.
I hope my fiance is listening right now because he gives me crap for saying, like, no, they'll be okay.
Yes.
Like, they will be completely fine. And he's made me feel bad about me leaving my dogs. And I'm like, they're okay. They're dogs.
This used to be a part of regular life.
Yeah.
You could go work
They
for
might
a
appreciate
living.
the break.
They do. I mean,
they like to
makes
sleep.
them less anxious and dependent on you.
I agree.
There's a follow-up. How do I regulate food and water? What do they do there?
So obviously leave water out or in the kennel if they're going to kennel the dog. I'm a huge proponent of that. But feed the dog twice a day.
So even if it's before you leave from work and when you get back?
6 a.m. and 7 p.m., that's fine.
okay?
Yeah.
Leave them a little picture of you.
Oh, that'd be cute.
A little picture. That's me. I'll be back in 15, 16 hours. You'll be all right.
Their concept of time is different too, right?
Yeah.
So they don't understand
Their
that.
concept of time, their heartbeat, totally different than humans.
Heartbeat's very strange.
Well, tell us more about the concept of time before we take a break, because I know I've heard these things, but I'm not 100% clear.
Yeah, I mean, they can't say my owner's been gone for 10 hours. To them, it's probably 20 minutes,
Well,
right?
they can't
time
speak it.
passes.
Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
they don't understand the concept of time.
Right.
So if you think in your head, oh my God, they've been gone for 10 hours, they're going to be just going crazy.
Yeah.
They don't understand that.
Yeah, and they just love us too, don't they?
Yes.
They
That makes
friggin'
me
love us.
feel better. That makes me feel a lot better, Dr. Andrea.
They
Thank
love you so much, Ashley. Right now, they're thinking about you.
Oh, I bet they are.
They are. We got to take a break. 651-989-9393 again is the number if you have a question for Dr. Andrea Johnston.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They can get pretty big. They can get 10 foot, 150 plus pounds, and they are a predator.
On 93X.
Yes, it's 8:53. Our friend Dr. Andrea Johnston is here in studio providing very helpful professional advice for pet owners in our listening audience. And Dr. Andrea, I got a text from a listener who has performed the Heimlich maneuver on his dog ski. What did he say? He says, my dog Chevy. Listen to that, Josh. Named his dog Chevy, even though everyone knows Ford is the superior brand.
Oh, here we go.
But he
Gosh,
still
where
went-
can we see his dog Chevy? On the side of the road?
Oh! All right, he named his...
Boom, roasted.
His dog Chevy once choked on a baby carrot, and he dumped the doggy Heimlich on him to save his life.
Wow.
That's traumatic stuff right there. We were talking about the doggy Heimlich maneuver.
We were also talking about how long you can leave your pet at home.
Yeah.
And you know what? My mom's kind of like this. Southside Jesus, who's, by the way, gorgeous. He said his fiance's mom isn't coming to their wedding because she can't be away from the dog. She didn't come to Christmas either.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that all the time. Like, people go to church at different times, so one can be home with the dog. It's bonkers.
I always heard you're not supposed to let them be in charge of your life. They're just an addition
Your
to what
parents?
you have going on. Yes, Josh. Yes.
Yeah, your friggin' parents. That could go either way. Do your chickens get separation anxiety from you, Dr. Andrea? They don't care.
No. Oh, my gosh.
Chickens don't care.
I hear it's a great time to own chickens with how expensive eggs are.
Oh, I got 9 eggs yesterday. One day I got 9 eggs.
You could be a millionaire.
How many chickens do you have again?
14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Start flipping eggs on the black market.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I'd be throwing them at Cubby's house on a Friday night. Is what I'd be doing.
The problem is they freeze by the time I get to them.
Oh, they're out. They're out of doors making frozen chicken eggs. Well, what do we have left for you here, Dr. Andrea? A few more text messages have come in, and we appreciate your time. We got another one of these situations where one dog is lifting its leg on the other. Well, that's like a territory thing, right? Like this, my friend belongs to me because I peed on him.
For sure.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Listeners want to know your take on all different pet-related things. One listener wants to know if you think that Grant is a cool name for his turtle.
Sure. It's a great name.
Yeah, stay 4, baby.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. You
Grant.
do you.
Is that a cool name for my turtle? I think a second grader has learned how to use the text machine this morning.
Single Father Jesus wants us to know that Ford is the #1 selling truck.
Uh-huh.
Because they don't last and people always have to buy a new one.
Son of a bitch.
I had a feeling that was going somewhere.
Oh, there's a 2.5-year-old German Shepherd out there, Dr. Andrea, with boogery eyes. And it lasts for up to 4 weeks in a row. Is that what this person is saying here?
I think they're saying that's how long they've had it at this point.
Okay.
We've got a dog like that.
Any over-the-counter medications to give a dog with boogery eyes?
Usually it's like conjunctivitis, which is either like pink eye, right? So viral, bacterial, or most likely allergic if it's been going on that long. Sometimes dogs, like Danes, Josh, I don't know if your dogs are like this, but like they have those saggy eyelids and it collects that, ocular discharge.
Nick made fun of one of my dogs for that, remember?
Well, yeah, he looks like he's drunk or something.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, they kind of sag. You can do a surgery for that, believe it or not. But that could be.
I don't have the qualifications.
Find a YouTube video, Josh.
Hey, dude, you removed your own wart when you were a kid. You probably can perform surgery on a Great Dane.
Oh, yeah, and I thought I was going to die. Who's very bloody.
Gross.
Very bloody.
Where else were we going with this, Dr. Andrea?
There's nothing over the counter. You can
Nothing over the counter.
No.
Nothing over the counter.
See your vet.
What about these folks who like to make their own homemade dog food? What would you recommend putting?
That's a big one.
What would you recommend putting or not putting in the homemade dog food?
Yeah. It's just too scientifically balanced. Dog foods these days that I would not recommend making your own food unless you went to a nutritionist at the U of M and they helped you formulate a homemade dog food.
Oh, that's cool that they do that.
Yep.
No offense, homemade dog food guy, but I just hope you're not like those homemade beer people. They piss me off. I hope you're not one of those homemade beer people.
Dr. Andrea, I saw a video not too long ago, and it was somebody walking around a veterinarian office, and they were asking everybody that worked there if they would feed their own pets a raw diet, and every single one of them said no.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just the bacterial load on it is dangerous to humans, the public health risk, and we have evolved dogs not to eat raw meat. I mean, unfortunately, that's what we've done to domesticate them, that I would not recommend it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow, you did another wonderful job today, Dr. Andrea.
Always.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time.
Sure.
We hope that everything's going well over at Gehrman Animal Hospital.
Yeah, it's going great.
Say hi to folks for us, and we'll see you in a couple
will.
weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Happy birthday to Tim. Have a wonderful 33rd. Becky from your boyfriend, Snowflake Trucking Jesus. Happy birthday to Tony, a.k.a. Turtle Chef, turning 35 today from Box Truck Rapper Jesus. And to the brother and sisterhood, thanks again for giving us a part of your morning, and hope to see you again on the morrow.
93X.
Hey, podcast listeners. Dana here. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Just between us. We like all of you much, much more than the folks that listen live. But no matter how, when, or where you check out the Hams podcast, we got to give thanks to our friends at Standard Heating for making it all possible. It's been a pretty tame winter so far, but we know well enough that we're not out of the woods yet. So hit up standardheating.com to get them out to your house to make sure your furnace is tuned up to do all of the furnace-y types of things it's supposed to do. I'm still learning the lingo. Make that appointment today. Become a Smart Club member like me. That's standardheating.com.